being made right now.
Bluebell doesn't fudge on deliciousness. Our new black raspberry fudge ice cream in pints and half gallons combines black raspberry flavored ice cream with dark chocolate flavored chunks and a chocolate fudge swirl. The result is real. Taste the truth.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Hen House markets and select Fun Fresh locations.
The Kansas City Auto Show is back, taking over the Overland Park Convention Center with more brands, more test drives, free parking, and all new family-friendly features. Get your tickets now at kcautoshow.com. The Kansas City Auto Show, going on now through Sunday.
Wow your dad this Father's Day. Gift him perfectly aged, oh-so-tender steaks and hand-selected gift packages from Omaha Steaks. Get USDA-certified tender steaks at your local Omaha Steaks store at the Fountains in Overland Park, or go to omahasteaks.com for fast delivery.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can gift to a child.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
The 5th annual Cody and Gold Garage Sale is back Wednesday, June 10th, with all auction items benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A 2-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you today. Rob is off for the next couple of days, a slacker, an underachiever. Now, hopefully he is out doing his best to try to get him some KU tickets. We might call into Rob to see how that pursuit is going. I honestly don't know how it's going for Rob. I actually logged on to the KU website today, trying to help our dear brother. I was on there at 10 o'clock. I kept hitting refresh. I didn't see anything. I'm like, wait, did it already crash? Did it sell out? Oh, the tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I was doing my best to try to help our dear brother. I was doing my best to try to help Rob get his tickets. I will resume that quest tomorrow. We got a lot to get into in today's show. Speaking of Kansas, coming up in just a little bit, we are going to be joined by someone from Baseball America to take a closer look at the matchup between Kansas and Oklahoma. The winner of that series goes to the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. We got a lot to get into in today's show. We got to talk about game one of the NBA Finals. The New York Knicks continue their incredible winning streak. They have now won 12 consecutive playoff games. We'll also talk about the Christian Watson contract. He is now the 12th highest paid wide receiver in the National Football League. But where we are going to start is with L'Jarius Sneed. Before we do that, though, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I would appreciate it. And number three, and most importantly, I need you to go stop by and see our friends over at The Other Place. Stop in, grab one of their incredible lunch specials, 12 lunch specials, below $10. Go grab yourself some dinner if you would like. Stop in, grab yourself something to drink. The weather is beautiful outside. Summer is here. You can go sit on the patio and have yourself something to drink. Whatever your summer fun plans are, make sure they include our friends over at The Other Place. Now, I got a tweet today, or saw a tweet that I was not expecting to see from Adam Schefter. Free agent cornerback L'Jarius Sneed is visiting with the Kansas City Chiefs today. As you guys know, he played for the Chiefs. The Chiefs then franchise tagged him and eventually traded him to the Tennessee Titans, where he got the absolute bag. It just didn't work in Tennessee. Where I would like to begin today's show is looking at, to me, the two possibilities that could exist. And I'm curious on which side of this argument you guys are on. 913-586-7965. I would say side A of this conversation is this is an indictment on Christian Fulton, and there is a chance that Christian Fulton does not make this team. There is a chance that given his salary cap number, given the cap space that the Chiefs could potentially save by letting Christian Fulton go, there is a chance that Christian Fulton gets cut for this team. Now, we'll get to option B here in just a little bit, but let's talk a little bit more about Christian Fulton. Now, I understand that they brought him in, they signed him to a 2-year deal. He played with the Los Angeles Chargers. He's a veteran in this league, and they could use a little bit of experience. I think it is important to note with Christian Fulton, he did not play before the end of the season. Christian Fulton was not impactful, did not play for the Chiefs in the games that mattered. To give you an example, he played 208 snaps last year. He played 46 snaps in the game against Tennessee. He played 71 snaps in the Broncos Christmas game. He played 62 snaps against Vegas. Outside of that, it was 2 snaps against Philly, 9 snaps against Denver the first time that they played, 1 snap against Indianapolis, also had 2 snaps the game against the Chargers. And it's also important to note, he does not help you on special teams. He only played in 10 special team snaps last year. Now, hopefully Mitch Holthus is listening because you know he calls me snap count, Dot. My stance on the snap count is very simple. I don't care what you say. Your actions, who you play, how you play them, where you play them, how often you play them, usually tells the stories. Now, I understand that injuries were a concern for Christian Fulton last year that kept him off the field, so I want to be mindful of that. But it is important to note to me, Christian Fulton could not get on the field until the Chiefs were completely eliminated. So it would not surprise me if the Chiefs are now looking around a guy that they know, a guy that knows the system, a guy that fits their locker room is now available. You could get him for the absolute cheap. Nobody is breaking the bank for L'Jarius Sneed with his bad knees and underperforming these last couple of years. You can now swoop in for the low and get L'Jarius Sneed on a 1-year, $4 million deal, very similar to the contract that you have for Kader Kohou. So that's one side of this argument to me is the Chiefs just don't believe in Christian Fulton. I know they believe in Noel Williams. You know they believe in Mansour Delane. outside of that, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I believe they believe in Kader Kohou. You go out and get him in free agency, so that's a guy that you absolutely believe in. But I would have thought that last year about Christian Fulton. You pick up Jadon Kennedy, the rookie out of Oregon, so you anticipate him being in the mix in some capacity. You got Christian Wallace, and that brings me to side B of this argument. Now, if you are on side B of this argument, I'm not telling you that you're wrong. I'm still trying to make sense of this, but I like the move. It's relatively cheap. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't really hurt you in the grand scheme of things. But option B is this is a depth piece. Now, why I shy away from that is just the names that I mentioned to you. Now, I'm not saying the Chiefs couldn't be better at corner. They absolutely could be better at corner. But if we're just talking about the guys that you are sure are going to make this roster, Noel Williams, Mansour Delane, I believe Kader Kohou is making this team. Jadon Kennedy is making this team. Christian Wallace is, I think, going to make this team or be in the mix in some capacity. Now, I would have counted Christian Fulton in that conversation, but it's not like the Chiefs need more cornerback depth. To me, you go pick up a veteran player of L'Jarius Sneed's caliber. To me, you are looking to replace somebody. Now, I might end up being wrong, but of these two sides, if I'm telling you that I think there's two sides to this argument, I think it's a red pill and a blue pill. Side A is that they're looking to replace Christian Fulton. Side B is this is just a camp body. This is just a guy that can help you be a depth piece. I think Sneed's making the roster. I don't think you go through this for a guy that you obviously feel a closeness to, a guy that knows your system, knows that locker room. I don't think you're bringing him in just for a camp body. Certainly if you have him pass the physical. Now, maybe you bring him in, maybe the knees are just completely shot. You just say to yourself, that's not a dice that we're willing to roll when it comes to him, and we'll move on. But if they end up going through with this and they end up signing L'Jarius Sneed to a deal, then I'm counting him on the roster. He's on the 53-man roster. Now you got to start playing the money game. Now, we'll get to the money game. What happens if the Chiefs move on from Christian Fulton, and what could that financially mean for you potentially going out to get a wide receiver? What could it mean for you potentially going out to get a Cam Jordan type? But out of those two sides, I am on A. I don't know if Christian Fulton's spot is solidified on this roster because I think that Sneed would take up that role. You got a veteran that knows the system that's going to be thrown into the rotation. You got a couple of young guys. If you have Sneed, you have him as a veteran that can bring those young guys up, who knows the system, who can sort of set the tone and be a leader in that room. I think this is a Christian Fulton replacement. I want to hear from you guys, 913-586-7965. What do you make of this? If Sneed passes the physical, I expect him to be on the team. I don't think you are letting him get through his legal issues like he just did. He's completely clear from that, so no fear of suspension. I don't think you bring in an old friend, work him out, he shakes everybody's hand, it's happy to be in the building. This is also just in line with what the Chiefs do. Yes, the Chiefs are different in some ways. They've invested in running back. They've gone out and they've turned over the defense. But you know this is an organization that loves reunions. They love bringing back guys that they've had success with in the past. And L'Jarius Sneed, at the price that I think he would command, makes a lot of sense. Let's go through the numbers here. Let's go through the financials with Christian Fulton on the other side. We're also going to be joined by Baseball America to take a closer look at KU as they try to make the College World Series. That's all coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
If you're looking for a new job and to work for a great local company, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is hiring. top pay in the industry, health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and advancement opportunities. Check them out at GannAsphalt.com. One contractor, all things parking lot.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
How old is your roof? If it's over 15 years old, it could be time to replace it before small issues become major problems. At Century Roofing, we've installed over 35,000 roofs in more than 35 years right here in Kansas City. We know what to look for, and we know how to protect your home. Schedule your free inspection today and let our team give you peace of mind. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Running a small business is a daily balancing act. One late shipment, one price hike, one employee issue, and your whole month, maybe the entire year, could be in trouble. That's where LendSeek comes in.
I needed $100,000 fast to keep up with inventory demands. LendSeek had me funded the same day I applied. Between their AI platform finding the fastest deal and a dedicated funding specialist guiding the process, it couldn't have been easier.
Our AI-driven platform matches your business with the right program from over 100 funders, up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours. Don't wait until it's too late. If you've been in business at least 2 years with more than $500,000 in annual revenue, qualifying is simple. No collateral, no out-of-pocket costs, no hassle. From lines of credit, term loans to revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply in minutes at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcast.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
Text line 913-586-7965. We're going to be talking about L'Jarius Sneed. We actually got a little bit of time to take some phone calls on this. 913-586-7965 if you guys want to weigh in. So we're talking about L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed visited with the Kansas City Chiefs today. We'll see if he signs a deal. I'm guessing that he does. If he passes the physical, I believe that L'Jarius Sneed is going to be on the team. Now, I understand this argument. Text line 913-586-7965. L'Jarius Sneed only played 12 games in Tennessee. He was always hurt. Now, I think what you are saying is fair, but I think we also have to keep in mind it is June 4th. There is a reason why you are still available at this point in the NFL calendar. There is a reason why a team signs you to a 4-year massive deal and then cut you at the end of the second deal. So, yes, I think you know what you are getting with L'Jarius Sneed is a little bit damaged goods in that aspect. So that part doesn't really bother me as much because, again, I think you have to factor in how much money do you think this is going to be. And I'm also guessing that the Chiefs will put something in that would protect themselves. For example, Kader Kohu, for example. Chiefs got him, a guy who has been injured. He signed a 1-year, $1.8 million deal that guaranteed him $665,000. If that's the kind of deal they get for L'Jarius Sneed, maybe ends up being a little bit more money. I'm willing to roll the dice to see if he's got something left in those knees. This is not a deal that hurts you. This is not a deal that prohibits you from being able to do something if he can help. So I don't want to overreact now to the Chiefs going out and making this move. Now, let's talk about the Christian Fulton side of this. And Nathan, you made a really good point about what you think this move could mean. So Christian Fulton, for the most part, has already been paid out the money that they owed him. So I did the math during the commercial break. They signed him to a 2-year, $20 million deal. They guaranteed $15 million of that $20 million. This is how it broke up. The signing bonus, which was $6 million, which has obviously already been paid out. He got that the day that he signed. So of that $15 million guaranteed, $6 million of it was already paid out. They had to guarantee $5 million for this year. So, I mean, he is financially on the team. Now, you can cut him and save some money. We'll get to that point. So they gave him $6 million to sign. They have guaranteed $5 million for this season. 6 plus 5, I could do that math. It's 11. And then last year, he made $4 million. He made $3.75 in base salary. He then got some money for showing up for a workout, a OTA, all of those kind of things. So for the most point, the money on Christian Fulton is paid out. Now, yeah, there's a little bit of dead cap space, but we're talking about a very small amount. You've already paid out the cash. You would save $5 million against the cap if you want to do that move, which right now the Chiefs could use a little bit of cap space. That $5 million in cap space could be you going to pick up Tyreek Hill. That $5 million in cap space could be you going out to go make a move to get a pass rusher and going to get a Cam Jordan. It is not outside the realm of possibility that that's how the Chiefs are looking at this thing. We can go pick up Sneed. We're going to get Sneed for next to no money. He just got paid from Tennessee. He wants to come be a part of it. We're going to give him basically what Cater Kohu got, which was less than $2 million and a very small guarantee. We're going to save some money against the cap if we release Christian Fulton. And now we can use that, whether it's on our rookies or we can use that money to go and be aggressive in free agency. I don't think it's a bad plan if that's what they're thinking.
I don't either. I think the worst case scenario here is between Kohu and Sneed. Kohu also had a torn ACL that he's recovering from as well. So the worst case scenario is Fulton makes the roster and then either Sneed or Kohu, whoever stays healthy, makes the roster. But I'm with you. If Sneed signs a deal, the Chiefs are okay with those medicals. I think they're moving on from Christian Fulton. And I think where this directly leads is, could L'Jarius Sneed not only be Christian Fulton insurance, could he be Ashton Gelati insurance, right? Because our Mason Thomas is on this team. He could compete for that starting role across from Karlaftis. But we know that rookies aren't going to get more than 3 or 4 sacks. Even the good rookies don't put up numbers like that. Do the Chiefs think Ashton Gelati can make that jump from a 1.5 sack guy to a 5 sack guy in year 2? And if they don't, the need for a guy like Cam Jordan becomes, an emergency. And Fulton, yeah, that's a place you could get some money. Like you mentioned, there's some dead cap if you cut him. They also could get back some more money if they're able to trade him. It would be a 7th-round pick swap, if anything. But that's where you could get money if you don't want to move around a guy like Chris Jones on the books. So, look, Sneed, I'm not saying he's going to play every game for the Chiefs, but I think he's on this roster if they sign him. And I'm with you. I think that probably spells the end of Christian Fulton as well.
Yeah, so if we can do the roster math here really quickly, because I'm reading this text right here. C-Dot, I'm with the belief that they're just trying to put as many bodies in the cornerback room and hope that 2 of them can play at the level that they need. I'm doubtful Sneed can even be a cornerback 2. I don't think that Sneed can be a cornerback 2. I think his knees are telling you that. I think the league is telling you that. I don't know if that's what the Chiefs need him to be. I don't think the Chiefs need Sneed to play at a cornerback 2 level. I think they need Sneed to play at a cornerback 3, cornerback 4 level. I don't think that Christian Fulton was their cornerback 2. I think that Noel Williams was that, and Mansour Delane, you spent the 6th overall pick at him. So Fulton, you had as a cornerback 3. If he had cornerback 2 potential last year, he at least would have been in the rotation. I don't think he would have been their corner 2 because of Watson and McDuffie. He at least would have been in the rotation. So Nathan, tell me if you think I'm wrong. These guys to me are locks for the roster. Noel Williams, Cater Kohu, Mansour Delane, and Kennedy. Now, I'm not looking at safeties because obviously Chamari Connor's going to make the team. Alohi Gilman's going to make the team. Jaden Hicks are going to make the team. Yeah. I'm talking just corners. That's 4. Williams, Kohu, Delane, and Kennedy.
I'm with you as long as Kohu's knee is not more torn up than we think. If he's healthy, I'm with you. Those 4 are locks.
Now, if we're trying to figure it out, do we think they keep 5 corners or do we think they potentially keep 6 corners? Because if they're only keeping 5 corners and then everybody else either getting cut or going to the practice squad, now we're talking about Christian Fulton, Chris Rowland Wallace, and potentially L'Jarius Sneed. They also got Kyer Elam, which to me just feels like a guy that's going to make the practice squad. Yep. I'd be a little bit surprised if Kyer Elam made this team. To me, he either gets cut or he hits the practice squad. Like, that's more of the camp body to me. But I'll say it again. If Sneed signs with the team, I think that Sneed is a part of their plan and on the roster, and I'm moving him closer to this. He is a lock to make the team, barring any kind of injury. We're talking about 5 corners. They ain't keeping 7 or 8 of them. Somebody's going to be on the odd man out in that list.
No, I'd be stunned if they even kept 6 corners. I mean, they'd have to pick somewhere else to make that number come from. Do they not want to keep a 4th edge? Do they not want to keep a 7th wide receiver or a 4th tight end? Things that they have done more so in recent years. That cornerback number is usually 5, unless a guy like Chris Rowland Wallace is seen as a cornerback safety hybrid, of course. No, those 4 are locks, and I am of the opinion, it sounds like we're in lockstep, that if the medical's clear, I would view Sneed as a lock as well, with a guy like Rowland Wallace, a guy like Elam on the practice squad. I don't see a space for Christian Fulton on this roster if L'Jarius Sneed signs with this team. I really don't.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, what about if the Chiefs move Sneed to a safety? I kind of feel like they're kind of locked up as safety at this point. You got Alohi Gilman, Chamari Connor, Jaden Hicks. I mean, you got 3 guys there. I don't know if you're bringing in a guy who's never really played that position and now your plan is to move him over to that. I don't think that's their plan. I obviously could be wrong. He's an older player. He's 28, but older in terms of a corner, wear and tear on his body. Maybe that's the plan. I think the plan is to throw him into the mix. We know this team loves reunions. I think that's the plan if you get him. Now, obviously, you got to sign him to a deal, but the fact that they are bringing him in, once he got cleared from his off-the-field stuff, it is in line with what they do. What makes this any different than McCole Hardman? What makes this from some of the other moves that we've seen them do in the past than a Derek Nottie, one of those kind of types? You're not bringing those guys back on the team to have them fight for a spot. No, you're bringing them back because you like them. You're bringing them back because they know the system, they fit the locker room, and they know your scheme. You're not bringing those guys in to have them be camp cuts.
Yeah, this has major McCole Hardman vibes, more so than the rest of those old guys. You know, we all know how much the Chiefs love a reunion. McCole Hardman, that year he was brought in, that 2023 season, that was the year, after Tyreek Hill, the wide receivers were struggling, and it was just get somebody who knows the system. We don't have time to teach somebody how we do things here. And that's what Sneed is. If he's your cornerback 4, fine. I'm not expecting him to play a starter. I mean, he better not be a starter on this team. That would also tell you how they feel about a guy like Noel Williams, and that would be a problem. But as a depth corner guy, yeah, I think that's about right.
Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to be joined by Jacob Rudner. He is with Baseball America. He is going to be on the show. We'll get his thoughts about Kansas as they get ready for the Super Regional as they are set to host the Oklahoma Sooners. While we're waiting for Jacob Rudner to get on the phone, my thought, and I have a lot of thoughts about Game 1. We'll talk a little basketball today, but I do want to talk a lot of Chiefs. And we'll talk about the Christian Watson contract coming up at the top of the hour. Sometimes basketball is real simple. Very simple. This game was tied heading into the fourth quarter. It was tied. The Knicks did a tremendous job in that third quarter of battling back. A little bit of Karl Anthony Towns. OG Anunoby hit a couple of big shots. The Knicks did their best to scratch and claw. This was a close game with 12 minutes to go. And what I mean by basketball being simple is one team's star greatly outperformed the other team's star. The team that had the star that showed up is the team that won. Jalen Brunson was phenomenal in that final 12 minutes. I mean, getting to the basket, scoop shots, that little get you in the air, try to draw a little bit of contact, that little elbow jumper that he hit. Just Jalen Brunson was phenomenal in the final frame of that game. I think these two teams are fairly even. I'm actually starting to switch my pick to the other side. I think the Knicks can defend Wemby a lot better than I thought they were going to be able to. We'll talk about Karl Anthony Towns and how I thought he matched up with Wemby, but I thought the fourth quarter of that game was very, very simple. Jalen Brunson answered the bell and was phenomenal in the final 12 minutes. The Spurs didn't really get a whole lot from their stars. De'Aaron Fox missed a point-blank jumper. Dylan Harper, who was unguardable for a stretch, the only person guarding him was Mitch Johnson. He's the coach of the Spurs by taking him out of the game. Wemby, I thought, played really sped up and out of control at times in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks just look like a team that's been here before, that's done this before, and they were able to go on the road and steal game one. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Jacob Rudner. He is with Baseball America as we get his thoughts on the Super Regional between Oklahoma and Kansas. Jacob, happy to have you on the show.
How's it going?
Doing fantastic, man. So let's just, I guess, recap the regionals and KU getting through that. How do you think KU was able to manage that?
Yeah, last week we talked about how Kansas came into the regional round loaded with one of the better offenses in the country. And I think that we saw that, and it starts with Tyson LeBlanc, the shortstop. He's broken the Kansas record for single-season home runs. He had a great weekend last weekend, homering, I believe, in every game of their postseason so far. And that is kind of the way that their offense goes. This is the best power-hitting team that Kansas has ever had. They've already broken the team record for single-season home runs as a unit, and I would imagine that was kind of the hope of this coaching staff, that they would be able to get opportunities to show that off in the first round. That's certainly what they did. It made the regional round as easy as the regional can be. And I think that we'll see that here moving forward as well.
Right now, we're talking to Jacob Rudner, learning a little bit more about the Super Regionals as we get ready for Kansas and Oklahoma. So that is how we got here with Kansas. How do we get here with Oklahoma?
You know, Oklahoma really turned it on offensively, kind of the opposite of what Kansas has been this season. That's a group that's had potential on both sides of the ball, but we haven't seen it come every single weekend, and it's caused them to have some inconsistency. This past weekend in Atlanta, they really did come through, especially offensively, in clutch moments. They did hit a walk-off home run to end the regional round to advance, but I think that the takeaway for Oklahoma overall is that when it's playing its best baseball on both sides of the ball, it does have the opportunity to be quite dangerous in a postseason setting. They pitch reasonably well. They miss a lot of bats, which we saw throughout the regional round. And then, of course, they have some pieces offensively who can put the ball over the wall and kind of pick up a clutch hit.
We had someone on from Oklahoma earlier in the week, and they mentioned that kind of preseason-wise, there was a lot of hope on this Oklahoma team. They were ranked in the top 10 and just had a little bit of a down spell. How are they able to turn things around?
You know, like I said, I think that this is a team that's been kind of up and down. And the turnaround has been a byproduct of the better weeks. When they are at their best, Oklahoma is a team that has multiple MLB draft caliber players on both sides of the ball. You got Dayton LaChance behind the plate. He's been excellent for them, especially over the last month. I believe he has 12 home runs over his last 21 games. Dayton Taki came on in the regional. He hit the walk-off home run to send Oklahoma to super regionals. And so they do have some of this star power. Cameron Johnson on the mound, the big left-hander. He's a bat-missing type of guy. He looks like somebody who could have a real pro career as he continues to find more control. And we've seen him do that at certain points this season. Those have been Oklahoma's best weeks. And so if this team is firing, it does have the potential, like I said, to be a winner. And I think that we've seen that now more weeks than not, and it's what's gotten them to this point.
Now, I don't want to make it seem like I've been watching Kansas this entire time. I started watching Kansas when I would guess a lot of other people just started watching Kansas when they got here. This team feels really cohesive. It really feels like they have all of the elements and all of the things that you need to actually make a run, not just in this super regional, and we'll get your keys to it here coming up in a bit, but this seems like a team that would be a very difficult out for anybody.
Yeah, and you know, if you recall last week, one of the things that we talked about was Kansas' growth in the baseball community sense and how much the support has increased for the program over the last several years under Dan Fitzgerald. I think that's been a really key element for them. You know, this is a community that has really rallied behind its baseball program. And, you know, just in talking to Dan Fitzgerald, it's very clear the players feel that. I think that they feed off of the energy. I also think that they look to replicate it in some ways. It's a tight-knit baseball fandom in Lawrence, and I think that the team tries to reflect that with how it carries itself. They really support each other. They are one of the rowdier teams in the country, which I think gets on other fan bases and teams' nerves. But that's kind of the team that you want to be. You want to be the team that nobody wants to play. And Tennessee was that under Tony Vitello when they won a national championship less than a decade after they were one of the worst teams in the SEC. So I think that momentum is a byproduct of cohesion, as you're talking about. And Kansas has a lot of them. It's one of the reasons I believe in this team.
Now, I don't know a whole lot about college baseball, but I watch a lot of college basketball and college football. And usually when you're a coach and you have this level of success at a school that's not a traditional power, the big schools start looking. They start calling. Is that a fear that Kansas has potentially with Dan Fitzgerald? Is there a worry that a LSU, that a Florida, that a Alabama will eventually come calling?
I think that generally speaking, if we're not going to put, is it happening now or is it happening in a year from now? Generally speaking, I'd say that's always true. People who perform have opportunities to move up in their industries. And I think that there are a number of jobs in college baseball that are just considered over a long period of time to be the best. And I would imagine that, any level of sustained success at a place like Kansas could lead to one of those schools calling. Is that an imminent thing? We'll see. I think that there is going to be a limited number of jobs that come open that would be of the caliber that we're talking about this offseason. South Carolina is kind of lingering out there. It's unclear what they're going to do. Could they call Dan Fitzgerald? Absolutely. I think that would make a lot of sense. Does Dan Fitzgerald have an opportunity here to stay at Kansas, though? I think that that's equally plausible. And so, to answer your question, yes, I think that schools will call. When that happens or who that is, it kind of remains to be seen, though.
Right now, we're talking to Jacob Rudner for a few more minutes here. He is with Baseball America, getting you ready for the Super Regionals as Kansas is set to host Oklahoma. Winner 2 out of 3, and that team advances to Omaha to go to the College World Series. Jacob, which of these two teams do you think has the starting pitching advantage? Which of these two teams do you think has the bullpen advantage?
I think that right now, momentum-wise, I would put Kansas very slightly in the driver's seat in that regard. They do have a staff that's missing a lot of bats, and when they're doing that and not letting the walks pile up, they've been very effective this year. Dominic Vagley has been extremely effective. He's got a slider that ranks as one of the better off-speed pitches in the country in terms of its ability to miss bats and generate strikeouts. So I like their momentum. I think that the bullpen has been solid as well. The back end, especially of that group, the group that's going to come in the clutch situations, the last couple outs of the game, they've been effective. I do like Oklahoma's pitching, though. I think that needs to be kind of inserted in there. They are going to miss bats, which is something that's going to be important for this Kansas offense. And so it's close. But I think that these are two volatile pitching staffs to a degree, and it kind of depends which weekend you're going to catch them on. That being said, I'll lean towards Kansas as the home team.
All right, I'll get you out of here with this last thing. Give me a couple of keys to Kansas advancing to Omaha. Give me a couple of keys that you think Oklahoma would advance to the College World Series.
Yeah, right before I jumped on with you, I heard you talking about the NBA Finals, so I'll make a basketball reference here. High variance teams in basketball, the teams that are going to go shoot a whole bunch of three-pointers, are volatile teams. If that's not going to sink, then their high variance way of playing the game is going to end up being the thing that causes them to trail by a bunch. I think that Kansas baseball has a lot of those qualities as well, and their three-pointer in a way is the home run. Kansas has relied very heavily this season on its ability to put the ball over the wall and kind of create these moments in games where they swing violently in one direction or the other. If they get shut down this weekend, if they strike out a bunch this weekend, which is something that Oklahoma is really good at, so I guess this key kind of cuts both ways, then I think that Kansas could be in trouble. The pitching has been volatile. They aren't necessarily constantly the best base-to-base team, the team that's going to win a game based on, stringing a bunch of hits together. They're the kind of team that wants to put the ball over the wall. And if Oklahoma can prevent that in turn, then I think that it could be a really good weekend for the Sooners. So the thing that I would watch if I was tuning into the Lawrence Regional would be, is Oklahoma throwing a bunch of strikes and missing bats? Or is Oklahoma throwing a bunch of strikes or walking guys and the strikes are getting hit out of the yard? Because that will be the key to who wins this, in my opinion.
I want to ask you this question, which is related to this, but also not related to this. What can we do to make college baseball more a thing? Because it's not like America doesn't love college sports. It clearly does. It's not like America doesn't love baseball. It obviously does. And as I was watching the regionals this week, just watching KU, man, the crowd is into it. The players are fun. It has so much personality and flair. It's like all the cool things about it. But yet it's just not really something that America keeps up with until this time. How do you make, as someone who clearly is passionate about the sport, how do we make college baseball cool?
I think that it's well on its way, first of all. This was one of the best years ever for college baseball in terms of viewership during the regular season. It was the second year, I believe, to 2012 in viewership as tracked by ESPN and various other outlets that have broadcast college baseball this season. So it really is heading in the right direction. But I do think that, continued baseball fandom, and I guess this is a remark towards MLB, continued baseball fandom and the growth of the game will be what continues to grow college baseball. I think a lot of the people that are jumping into it now are jumping in because you're seeing guys like Jack Caglione and Paul Skeens is a super popular one, who are going up almost immediately after having success in college and having success in becoming very quick stars as pros. It's like every other big league sport right now. So I think that that's one thing. A shutdown in baseball is not going to be good for Major League Baseball, but in a way, because of college baseball's momentum and the fact that people, like you said, are starting to pay attention to it, I think that there being no professional baseball could put college baseball even more in the spotlight. So I would say that, continue to watch the games if you're new to it. It is as exciting during the regular season as it is during the postseason. And we'll see what happens with Major League Baseball, because I think it'll be interesting for the growth of the game.
That is Jacob Rudner joining us on the show. He is with Baseball America, getting us ready for the Super Regional as Kansas is set to host Oklahoma. It is best 2 out of 3. Whoever wins 2 games this weekend, they're going to Omaha, Nebraska for the College World Series. Jacob, man, appreciate your time. Hopefully you're on again. That means KU advances.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. That's Jacob Rudner joining us on the show today. If you have never had the opportunity to go to the College World Series, whether Kansas is in it, your favorite team is in it, just as someone who enjoys sport, as someone who enjoys college sports, as someone who enjoys summer and being outside and going to a baseball game, I'm telling you, it is an experience that you will not forget. It is an experience that you will not regret. The College World Series is a lot of fun to be at, a very, very enjoyable experience. So if Kansas gets the opportunity to be in, I'm telling you, if you're a KU fan, you will want to make the trip to Omaha, Nebraska. It is really, really cool if you get an opportunity to go. Coming up on the other side, let's get to one of the top stories in sports. Some of the NBA Finals is about the game, for sure. Some of it is also about the fans. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
High energy bills? Can't get cool enough? Your HVAC system could be the reason. Save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Smart homeowners know an old air conditioner can cost you more every month. Don't let it drain your wallet. Upgrade to efficient, reliable comfort with payment options that fit your budget. Put your trust in over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
I keep seeing celebrities posts, me in the 90s versus now. Well, the person staring at me in the mirror is definitely not the same person that could pull off bootcut jeans. Time creeps up on us so slowly. You don't see it until suddenly you do. Same thing goes for your bills. $1 here, an uptick there. It's a slow burn until one day you realize the price you're paying now is way higher than when you signed up. But at T-Mobile, customers had the lowest wireless bills versus Verizon and AT&T over the past 5 years. And with T-Mobile on their experience plans, you get a 5-year price guarantee, so you know exactly what your plan price will be for the next 5 years. So at least that's one thing that won't change over time. I can't guarantee you'll still look good with frosted tips, but T-Mobile can give you a clear guarantee on your wireless plan.
Lower bills based on Harris X billing snapshots from Q321 to Q425 compared to average AT&T and Verizon bills. Comparison excludes discounts, credits, and optional charges. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com.
Father's Day? Go big for Dad. Celebrate Father's Day with 5 courses fresh from the Wok Fire. Enjoy a 5-course celebration experience starting at $89.99, featuring premium entrees like New York prime strip steak tataki, oolong chili and sea bass, and lobster and prawn fried rice. Bold flavors, sizzling favorites, a meal made to impress. Because Dad deserves more than just a dinner. He deserves a celebration. Celebrate Father's Day with some sizzle. Only at P.F. Chang's.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This afternoon, mix of sun and clouds, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, high of 84.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com. Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
A lot of the NBA playoffs or the NBA Finals is about the two teams. You have the New York Knicks, who are in the biggest media market. This is the first time they've been to the finals since 1999. They haven't won a chip since the 70s. So that's been a massive storyline. The other storyline has also been about Victor Wembanyama, one of the more unique basketball players that we have ever had a chance to see. It's a very intriguing series. I thought Game 1 was great. Can't wait for Game 2 tomorrow. But another major storyline with this finals has been about the fans. Whether it's been the ticket prices, the fever pitch that seems to be around this thing, the fans are a major storyline in this event. Let's talk about the fans on both sides. Now, let's just go ahead and get this one out of the way. I hate giving these people attention, but it happened. There was a kid yesterday in the game that ran on the court and tried to get a selfie with Victor Wembanyama. The video has now been posted. You can see it. He runs over there and he tries to get a picture, but Wemby is so tall. Wemby's head isn't even in the picture. It's a really, really bad photograph. Now, we've all done things as teenagers. We've all done things as kids that are kind of silly, and this is part of learning, growing up, and maturing. Now, I don't know how much learning and growth and maturity you need to know you're not supposed to run on the court, but that's neither here nor there. This is my question. Was that TikTok that important that now they have banned you from NBA games for the rest of your life? You can never attend another NBA game, ever. You live in San Antonio. You can just never go to the game? What if San Antonio becomes the 90s Bulls? What if they became the Warriors or the Lakers? They win 3 or 4 of these. You're telling me you were well off enough, or your parents or whomever, you were in enough of a position to go to the NBA Finals, and now you're done? You'll never be allowed in. Not even just, they said he can't go to any NBA game. He can't be out of town. And then someone says, hey, I got tickets to a game. I got a suite. Would you want to come? Nah, man, I can't come. Why can't you come? Oh, I'm banned. Why? Oh, well, back in 2026, I ran on the floor. I tried to take a picture with Wemby. Well, can I see the picture? Yeah, here. That's stupid. I told you guys a long time ago what my plan is to quit these people from doing this, man. You got to start tasing them. You got to start tasing these people. You got to start pepper spraying some of these people. When you run on the floor, you are subject to being tased or pepper sprayed. That'll stop you from running on the floor. You start running on the floor and all of a sudden you got that spicy oregano in your eyes, I bet you'll think about it again. You see your face looking all puffy and red and you're crying, I bet you won't make that same mistake again. We gotta start pepper spraying and tasing these people, man. Obviously, tackling them is not enough. We got to take it to another extreme because who knows what could happen in that scenario. Now, this kid, I mean, I wouldn't say he meant well, but he didn't mean anybody harm. He just ran on the court, tried to get a picture. This is a funny, ha-ha, look, I'm going to go viral on TikTok. But that little 10-second TikTok that's going to be removed from the ether in the next 24 hours, that got you a lifetime ban from the association? Just silly. Just absolutely silly. That's number one. Nathan, have you seen that the Knicks, they are hosting a watch party? So you can go to MSG, and let's say that, you can't afford tickets to the game because not a lot of people can afford tickets to the game, and everybody can't go even if you can. They were charging $10 for this watch party. $10. That's what the Knicks were charging. $10 for this thing. Hey, show up, pay $10. I'm not sure if they gave the money to charity or if they kept the money. I'm not sure what the plan was. But, hey, if you want to come celebrate and you want to watch with other Knicks fans, we're charging you $10 to come inside the stadium and to watch the game, which I don't really think's that bad. Well, in true capitalist form, you know that people are selling the tickets to the watch party. Guess how much the tickets are to the watch party right now on StubHub? These seats that were $10, every seat, $10. Didn't matter if you had the Spike Lee seat or you were sitting up in the rafters. It was $10 for that seat. How much do you think it is to go to the watch party now on Ticketmaster, on StubHub?
On the secondary market, give me $150.
$150.
Oh, really?
$150. Now,
kind of thought it'd be more than that.
I'm not going to say that I've never been to a watch party before because I absolutely have been to a watch party. We plan on having a watch party here coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to watch the United States and all of their matches. I'm happy to participate in these watch parties. I'm not going to a watch party for a team that I'm emotionally invested in this way. It can't be fun. Now, maybe this is a bad assumption, but when I see those watch parties down at Power and Light for Team USA and everybody's going crazy and everybody's excited, that's great. I'm happy. Celebrate soccer. Come to downtown Kansas City. Buy something. Support. I'm all for that. I just get a sense that a majority of these people don't really care that much. They just want to be where the action is. They just want to be in the mix, which is great. Hey, I'm a casual, but I love America, and I want to support the World Cup. I want to support soccer. I want to go down where other people are doing the exact same thing. I'm not mad if that's your logic. But just think about the way that you guys watch Chiefs games, for example. You're on the edge of your seat. You're superstitious. You got to sit in the same seat. You got to have the blanket with you. You got to do all of these things. Some of you get superstitious about it. You're doing that at the stadium where you got to look up and watch the game on the Jumbotron? I can't do that. It's different to go to a watch party at a house to me. This is a house. I'm at the couch. Hopefully everybody here is also a Knicks fan the way that I am, so I get some of that feeling, but I'm sitting at home. We got drinks, we got the TV, we got the couch, we got the bathroom, we got all the things that you need. I can't imagine going to one of these watch parties. As a true diehard fan, I'm locked in. Every dribble, I don't want to miss anything. This is my favorite team. This is the team that I want to see win the championship the most. I'm not going to Mizzou Arena to watch them play in the Final Four. No. So I can watch it on that little screen? No. I'm either going to the game or I'm at home on the edge of my seat, nervous, worried about what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think the World Cup is the perfect watch party example. I'll take a gold medal hockey match with friends or family or down at Power and Light. You know what another good watch party event was? Last year's Super Bowl when we didn't care about either of the teams that were in it. For the 13-second game, for Game 5 of the World Series, for your hypothetical, which is kind of crazy, but I am a Mizzou fan, so I'll roll with it. For the Mizzou Final Four, I am on my couch, I am leaned forward, and I'm not talking to anybody. Paying $150 to go watch your team on the Jumbotron in their first finals in my what would be my lifetime, yeah, pass. No thanks.
Yeah, I mean, Godspeed. I mean, if that's how you want to watch the game, that's great. That to me feels like a offering for the casual. And I understand. Royals are making a deep run. It's 2014, it's 2015. Maybe you can't afford to actually be at the game. You couldn't go. Let's go down to Power and Light and let's watch it. But for those of you that remember, you were on pins and needles back in 14 and 15. I'm not going outside to stand up and watch this game on a TV and I got to look over people's head and I can't hear the commentary. No, that's not the way that I want to consume sports. I'm not going to your watch party that feels like it's a party that also football is being played. During the commercial, you got a DJ going, everybody's doing shots, and bro, I'm not trying to watch the football game this way. Not for a game that I really care about. If you want to do that for a Monday Night Football, random Bills, Titans, sure. That sounds like a great time to me. But I'm saying it's Chiefs, Broncos, Monday Night Football, and I can't do it.
You ever talk to anybody who's gone down to Power and Light for like a Super Bowl? I talk to buddies, and they'll be like, yeah, we went out to Power and Light for the game. And I'm like, oh, like, what's that like? What's going on down there? Hey, when did you show up? Did you have to wait in line? And they'll be like, yeah, I was down there at 7 to get a good spot. Hold on, you spent 10 hours waiting for the event to start to be in that environment? Look, I'm not a casual sports fan, so that's part of the context here. I do not understand that world whatsoever.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
Man. I don't get it. Hey, Godspeed to you, man. Godspeed to the New York Knicks. I'm pulling for them. I'm cheering for them. They're up 1-0. 3 more, and the New York Knicks will be the champions of the National Basketball Association. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, let's switch gears a little bit. Christian Watson, who is a wide receiver for the Packers, he got the absolute bag today. Boy, I don't understand it. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens. The world's game at BetMGM is here. Bet on the soccer showdowns with 2 up early payout so that if you're up 2, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Let's say you put your money on Leo Messi in Argentina. They go up too early in the first half. Well, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Place a pre-game straight match result bet on any tournament game. If at any point your team is up by 2 goals, you will instantly win your bet. Then enjoy BetMGM's same-game parlays, daily promotions, player props, and so much more for the world's game. You like Ronaldo at Portugal. You like Harry Kane in England. Whoever it may be, don't miss your shot at an early win with 2 up early payout to get paid out if at any point your team is up by 2 goals. Regardless of the final outcome of the match, make it a tournament to remember with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply. Please gamble responsibly.
Big color, bigger savings. Sherwin-Williams Super Sale is here. Get 40% off paints and stains June 5th through the 11th with prices starting at $30.89. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Steak is for dads. All types of dads. Grill dads, cast iron dads, charcoal dads, all united by their love of steak. So shop in store at Omaha Steaks at the Fountains in Overland Park for the perfect Father's Day gift. From perfectly aged, oh so tender USDA certified tender steaks to hand-selected gift packages, Omaha Steaks makes it easy to give your dad what he really wants. A license to grill with a Father's Day gift from Omaha Steaks at the Fountains, or go to omahasteaks.com lewisburgford.com today for fast delivery.
Hi, Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford, Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
So what is going on at Lewisburg Ford?
Hey, we've got an amazing promotion right now, Toby. We've got employee pricing for everyone. That means you don't have to negotiate price and you can buy a brand new Ford just like a Ford employee can. It's a big benefit to them. Now it's a big benefit to everybody.
But now the dealers are all the same as you?
Every dealer's going to be the same price. So the only thing that makes a difference is the dealer who you're working with. And Lewisburg Ford is the best, okay? I'm touting how good we are. Okay. 23 President's Award, the #1 F-150 dealer in the Kansas City area 9 years in a row, and the biggest F-150 dealer for 5 years in the state of Kansas.
I know you are the best place to buy a Ford.
We're going to take better care of you than anybody.
Period. Yes.
Absolutely.
How long is this going on?
Well, we can come to you, and we're going to do this through the 7th of July. So if you want us to come to you, we can come to you, or we'd love to see you in Lewisburg.
What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Or lewisburgford.com.
Gomer's voted Casey's #1 liquor store, family owned and operated since 1969. With excellent price, selection, and service, Gomer's has helped customers find the perfect libation for any occasion for over 50 years.
When it's time to find the good stuff you're looking for, you find it at Gomer's.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. #1, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really worked so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
The Kansas City Royals and Community Blood Center are teaming up for their annual Royals Weeks and Summer Blood Drive. Donate at any CBC location between now and June 14th, and you'll receive 2 redeemable ticket vouchers for a 2026 Royals home game while supplies last.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here for Renner Garage Door, America's oldest family-owned garage door company, serving both wholesale and retail markets. Free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door.
RENNER.
The Cody and Gold Garage Sale benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is on Wednesday, June 10th on your home for Kansas City Sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Now, you guys know that we love talking contracts on this show. And when somebody gets the amount of money that Christian Watson just got, we got to talk about it. Now, I think Christian Watson is a good player. He plays wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. He's 27 years old. He's shown himself to be a big play down the field, take the top off the defense kind of player. I mean, when he's healthy, when he's available. But the problem is he ain't never healthy and or available. But you know what? That did not stop the Green Bay Packers today from giving him 4 years, $110 million. He got a $31 million signing bonus. He is now the 12th highest paid receiver in the National Football League. Now, on the surface, I don't have any problem with a young brother getting paid, man. It's not my money. I salute you. You worked hard, you did what you were supposed to do, and life rewarded you. You know what? Congratulations. But in a salary cap league, I cannot for the life of me understand why you would give somebody whose career high in receiving yards is 620, who has never had more than 41 catches in a season, why you would give that guy $110 million, it is beyond me why the Packers would do something like this. Now, they just had Romeo Doubs on their team. Now, I think that Christian Watson is a better player than Romeo Doubs. You know how much money Romeo Doubs got? He got 4 for $68. That's a regular deal to me. It's essentially a 2-year deal. If it doesn't work, you move on from Romeo Doubs. In what world is Romeo Doubs worth 4 for $68 and the same organization then gives Christian Watson 4 for $110? You could have signed Romeo Doubs and now have $40 million to play with in free agency to go add to the rest of your roster to potentially try to get you over the hump in a division that's as tough as any in the National Football League. It makes me want to pull my hair out how bad of a contract I think this is. I tell you guys this every single year. The worst football exercise that you can do is to give a okay player to good player an amazing contract. It's the worst thing you can do. Christian Watson is okay. He's fine. When he's there, it's great. But if he couldn't stay healthy at 23, 24, 25, and 26, now your hope and plan is that he stays healthy at 27? That makes sense to you guys? That checks out to you guys? Because that doesn't make any sense to me why you would think that. And why you wouldn't be willing to just walk and come to the conclusion that Christian Watson is just a dime a dozen. Now, I don't think you guys care to break down the Packers cap situation. What I do think is interesting is when I saw this first number, I know some of you were thinking, man, Rashee Rice has cost himself so much money. And I agree with you. I don't disagree. But if this is the kind of money that they're giving to decent wide receivers, I think Drake London's very good. Drake London has had one 1,000-yard season. He just got $120 million yesterday. Christian Watson, he's fine. He just got $110 million. Alec Pierce has had one good season in the National Football League. He's the 11th highest paid receiver in the league and just got $115 million. Maybe we've undersold how much money Rashee Rice is actually still worth. Now, I wouldn't give him 4 for 110, but what's stopping Rashee Rice from getting 4 for 68? If that's what Romeo Doubs got, that's half of what Christian Watson got. What's stopping a team from giving him 4 for 68 next year? Now, that's not the ceiling of what you could get, but I don't know about you. If a team gave me $68 million and guaranteed $31 million away to Romeo Doubs, I would feel like I won. I would feel like I hit the lottery in that scenario. I mean, I could have hit the super mega Powerball, but I'm still doing all right if I hit for $31 million and my contract will then expire. I'll be 28 years old. I can then re-up and potentially get myself another bite off of the apple. I don't want the Chiefs to sign this deal. Please do not get this confused on what I'm saying. I have no interest in the Chiefs signing Rashee Rice to Christian Watson's deal. I have them a problem signing the deal Watson from Sherlock Holmes. I got a problem with them signing Alec Pierce's deal. Whatever deal you think, I'm not really interested in the Chiefs giving Rashee Rice this move. But maybe, just maybe, Rashee Rice has not cost himself as much money as I thought. The money that they are giving average wide receivers has gotten crazy. And this is the same fan base. This is the same group of people that then tell me you shouldn't overpay at running back. Christian Watson got 3 times the amount that Kenneth Walker got. Which contract would you rather have if you're building a roster? Would you rather have Kenneth Walker's deal and now you can look out and you can kind of piece it together at wide receiver? Or would you rather swing big and go get Christian Watson, who last season he had 611 yards. He's never played 16 games in a season. He's never played 17 games in a season. It blows my mind how you could give Christian Watson that much money.
You know, I watched some other teams across the league, and I think they're in a good spot skill position-wise, offensively. ESPN's doing a segment on the Cowboys right now. I watched the Cowboys, and I've seen Dak Prescott ball out. I've seen what CD and George Pickens can both do. I understand why they'd try to make them all fit. You know what team I've never watched and thought, man, they got to figure a way to lock this core up on offense? The Green Bay Packers. They're paying Jordan Love $55 million a year, and I get that's the name of the game with a quarterback, but you add that to $28 million a year for a guy who's never had above 620 in his career in Christian Watson. They extended Jaden Reed. They're paying him $17 million a year. He's never had above 850, which is solid. It's more respectable than 620. There's murmurs that they want to sign Tucker Kraft long-term, who's only had 1 year of more than 500 yards in his career. I don't know what the Packers are up to, but they're buying themselves into prolonged mediocrity. To your point about Rashee Rice, I think the guarantee is going to be low. It's going to be like the contracts you mentioned, but I think the overall deal is going to look pretty similar to Christian Watson. I think, assuming he doesn't get in any more trouble, which is a big if, you're going to look at him getting 4 for 90, 4 for 100 with a lower than normal guarantee because, of course, the risk. But yeah, Rashee Rice, he's still getting paid next offseason.
Yeah, text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, it's not baseball. These contracts are not guaranteed. It's all gas. Yeah, kinda. For example, Alec Pierce, 4 years, $114 million. That's the big number. He got $26 million to sign, and the contract guarantees $84 million. So, yeah, the 114 is gas. The $84 million ain't gas. $84 million for a guy in Alec Pierce who has one 1,000-yard season. To give you an example, Kenneth Walker got $28 million. I'm sorry, there is no world in which I would give Alec Pierce 3 times the amount of guaranteed money that Kenneth Walker has. I don't think that's a good contract. I don't think that's a great way to build your team. We can use Drake London. He just signed a deal yesterday. Drake London signed for 4 for 144. If we're saying, oh, the numbers are fixed, okay, fine. Drake London got $100 million guaranteed. $100 million for Drake London. Drake London has one 1,000-yard season in his career. He's been cool. I'm not telling you he's a bad player. He's been fine. But $100 million guaranteed? I only bring this up is just because I feel like, and maybe I have played a part in this, so I can't just pass this off like, oh, it's the media, oh, it's the text line. No, sometimes I think we paint it like Rashee Rice next year, no team's going to trust him, and he's going to sign a 1-year, $10 million prove-it kind of deal. Not when they're giving Drake London $100 million guaranteed. Not when they're giving Alec Pierce $84 million guaranteed. Not when Christian Watson, he got $31 million today. $31 million. That's before we get into any other guaranteed money. So I was going back and forth with Packer fans. Oh, it's just $31 million. Stop it. We know that's not how these contracts work. You think he just got this $31 million? They're not guaranteeing another dollar? They're going to guarantee his salary for the next 2 seasons. Christian Watson's going to make $75 million guaranteed at a minimum these next 2 years from Green Bay. To do what?
I love Alec Pierce's Pro Football Reference page. The guy's 17-game average, he averages 780 yards and 5 touchdowns a season. The guy's getting paid $30 million a year. Look, this is where the expansion, the rapid salary cap expansion we've seen in recent years, it's going right to those outside positions, wide receivers and corners. Those 2 markets are getting out of control. Are they more of the premium positions compared to a lot of the other spots in the field? Sure. But this is where you've got to be able to draft and develop. I'm okay spending money in the trenches and obviously at quarterback. If you can't draft and develop and get these wide receivers and corners on good rookie deals, you're going to have a hard time competing when Christian Watson, Alec Pierce and company are making $30 million a year.
Yeah, this is where I would just push back. CDOT, can you stop acting like every team in the NFL doesn't have multiple bad contracts? This is getting played out. What's the Chiefs' bad contract? Because if you're telling me the Chiefs' bad contract is Chris Jones, that's not the same as giving Christian Watson that money. Chris Jones is an all-pro level defensive tackle. Chris Jones is one day going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now, if the argument is you were paying him for what he did in the past and not what he did moving forward, I think that's a fair deal. That is the only contract on the Chiefs you can consider to me to be a bad deal.
I do not.
That's the only one.
I do not consider that to be a bad deal. I get what you're saying about paying for
nostalgia.
nostalgia.
But if you want to argue that you are overpaying today for Chris Jones, I'm not mad at you if you come to that conclusion. But overpaying for a guy like Chris Jones, who at the time that you signed him was the best player arguably at his position is different than overpaying on Christian Watson, who nobody has as the top 30 receiver in the National Football League. That's a completely different overpay to me. They did not overpay Nick Bolton based on what it is. Now, you might could argue Trey Smith. I would also say that's the market. He's also 25 years old and arguably the best player at his given position. I don't know if the Chiefs have a traditional bad contract. I think there's a lot of bad teams that give out these bad deals. I think there's a lot of players that maybe end up getting hurt and it's upside down. But Kansas City does not have a Sneed deal where you knew it was a little bit of a risk going into it, and they gave a guy with the questionable injury history $72 million and hoped that it worked out. They haven't signed many of those kind of deals.
Yeah, I think we agree. And I kind of jumped the gun there because I do get upset when people call this Chris Jones contract too large. The Chiefs were also chasing a three-peat, something that had never been done before. And Chris Jones was coming off multiple double-digit sack seasons in a row. That's a contract that you sign. You're trying to win the first three-peat of all time, and you've got a Hall of Fame D tackle still in his prime. Yeah, you make that deal. As far as a play, I mean, you can look at Bolton. Someone on the text line said Harrison Butker, and I see what you're saying in terms of overpaying for these guys right now.
Harrison Butker makes $7 million a year. What are we
into?
What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here?
Same as Christian Watson.
What are we doing here? He's $7 million. Harrison Butker counts for less than 3% of the Chiefs' salary cap. What are we doing here? Very different conversation. Someone on the text line says Drake London is easily a top 10 receiver. At worst, he's the top 15 receiver in the league. You're crazy if you think that.
It's a fantasy football take, is what that is.
You're insane if you think that Drake London's a top 10 receiver in the National Football League. Insane, in my opinion, if you think that. I don't know if he's a top 10 receiver in the NFC if we're having that conversation. He's good. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player. Top 10? No chance. He's a top 10 receiver in the National Football League. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
This is the Our Idea is Ready to Launch vision. This is the Create Great Jobs vision. This is the We Need More Space vision. This is Busey, where your business visions become realizations through securing capital for growth and comprehensive strategies that ensure a prosperous future. Because thriving businesses mean thriving people and thriving communities. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years, and they know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830. 816-265-2830 for all your cooling, heating, and plumbing needs. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Kansas City Auto Show is back, and we're taking over the Overland Park Convention Center with more brands, more test drives, free parking, and all new features. Now through Sunday at our exciting new location. Get up close to the latest cars, trucks, and SUVs, plus exclusive test drives you won't want to miss. Don't miss your chance to see your future of driving, all in one place. Get your tickets now at kcautoshow.com. The Kansas City Auto Show happening now through Sunday at Overland Park Convention Center.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Hi, I'm Katie, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Daydreaming about bringing your engagement ring vision to life? As a jewelry consultant, I'm here to help. Compare ring styles side by side. They're in stock and ready to try on. Then customize it with an engraving or decorative crown. At Shane Company, there are so many ways to create your dream ring at your dream price. Visit us in-store or at shaneco.com because a friend wants you to get exactly what you want. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Pump up the volume. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
This is Blake Fanning with Shawnee Mission Ford. We promise to continue giving you reason to shop at Shawnee Mission Ford in 2026. Great selection of new and used vehicles, large discount, top trade allowance, and mobile service when you need it. There's no reason to go anywhere else. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more in 26.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Good afternoon. 2-car crash to working 70 eastbound just past Sterling Avenue. It is the left lane blocked. And then continue on 70 eastbound past Blue Ridge. That's off to the right shoulder. That's a stall. But a lot of onlooker delay. We've got a crash. 35 southbound at 119th. Left lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, we are engaged in an argument with the text line. I'm always here for those arguments with the text line. So we were talking about Christian Watson's deal. Christian Watson today got a substantial bag. Christian Watson got $410 million. He has never had 700 yards receiving in a season. He has never had 50 catches in a season. He just got a tremendous bag. Someone sent a text in that said, I need to stop acting like every team doesn't have multiple bad contracts. I actually don't know if the Chiefs have a bad contract. They have some contracts that I wouldn't have signed. I don't know if that necessarily makes it a bad deal. I think the only contract that you can even have the conversation is a bad deal is Chris Jones' contract. Chris Jones got 5 for $150, and he is certainly on the end of his career where you could argue that they paid him more for what he did 2-3 years ago than they're currently paying him for. If you want to put the Chris Jones deal in the bad contract pile, I won't fight you too hard on that, but I also think it's important to note when they signed Chris Jones to a deal, he was an all-pro. He was the second best defensive tackle of his generation behind Aaron Donald. That is different than throwing a whole bunch of money at Christian Kirk. That's different at throwing a whole bunch of money at Calvin Ridley or throwing a whole bunch of money at Christian Watson. The Texan is now throwing up a couple of other deals. I would push back on this Harrison Butker. Now, Harrison Butker is not cheap by kicker standards. He also doesn't make a lot of money by NFL standards. Harrison Butker's contract takes up 2.4% of the Chiefs' salary cap. 2.4. Harrison Butker's contract is not stopping the Chiefs from doing anything that they want to do. So that just makes it's difficult for you to tell me it's a bad deal if it's also not prohibitive. The Christian Watson deal is prohibitive. We say all the time, well, you can't pay everybody. Well, if you give one player $110 million, that is you saying no to a Trent McDuffie. That's you saying no to a Jalen Watson. There is not a player that they had to let go to accommodate Harrison Butker's deal. He doesn't make that much money. He doesn't. He doesn't make a significant amount of money. He counts 2.4% against the cap. So I will not let people put Harrison Butker into the bad deal. Now, is it the best deal you could have for a kicker? Are there teams getting more value at the position? Sure. I don't think that Harrison Butker's contract is a bad contract. Some people have brought up the Nick Bolton deal. I also think the Nick Bolton deal not really as bad as people say that it is. He's not making a whole lot of money. Now, I wouldn't be in the business of giving a whole lot of money to that position, but 3 for $45 with a $12 million signing bonus and $30 million guaranteed, that is essentially a 2-year deal that you can get out of at the end of the season, that's not that bad of a deal to me. It basically ends up being a 2-year deal for $30 million, and if the Chiefs want to move on from Nick Bolton at the end of this season, they will save $15 million in the process. In year one of that deal, he had a $2 million base. This year, the base jumps up because that's the way that these contracts are structured. I don't think the Nick Bolton deal is a bad deal. I don't think it's an awful deal for the Chiefs.
I don't either. I also think there's multiple kinds of bad deals. There's the, hey, this player is not going to be this productive in a few years. He will become an overpay. And there is also this is immediately an overpay. And that's what we're saying Christian Watson is. We know right now today this is too much money to pay a player like Christian Watson. Even in the heightened wide receiver market, this guy, he's got 0 seasons above 620 yards. In no world does he deserve that contract. Now, Chris Jones is an example of what might be the other type of bad contract. He is now underperforming compared to the start of this contract. But again, look at context. The guy's a Hall of Famer, and he was at his absolute peak in multiple playoff runs. The Chiefs were chasing a three-peat. That's not the same thing as Christian Watson. It just isn't. I don't see the Chiefs having any of those impactful, immediately bad contracts like Christian Watson's.
Yeah, some of these deals, I'm sorry, we disagree.
Like Noah Gray is a popular one on the text line. He doesn't make enough money, in my opinion, for this to be. I can say
Noah Gray counts less against the salary cap than Harrison Butker does.
Right.
He counts less for the salary cap than Harrison Butker. Everybody on your team cannot be on a rookie deal. Somebody has to be a veteran on the team. You don't have an infinite amount of picks, so everybody can be a rookie or an unsigned player. Noah Gray is making no money by NFL standards. He's making no money. And if the Chiefs want to cut Noah Gray today and save cap space, they can. It would save $3 million if they just want to cut Noah Gray right now. Now, I would just argue I don't really see a whole benefit. That $3 million ain't really moving a whole lot. You ain't really doing a whole lot of moving and shaking with $3 million in cap space. Noah Gray's deal is not bad. These are not the deals that have you upside down. Cleveland, for example, they are not in this position because their backup tight end makes too much money. You want to know why Cleveland's in this situation? They have the worst contract in the National Football League. Now, I know that's the extreme example, but now we're throwing in guys like Noah Gray and Harrison Butker No, those are not bad deals in my eyes.
Yeah, and so we're right back to the Christian Fulton conversation earlier about being able to move on from a player. He has one that's been mentioned a few times on the text line. Christian Fulton does not make enough money to be a bad deal. Are these guys underperforming their contracts maybe? Perhaps. I don't think you got $10 million of value out of Christian Fulton last year, or whatever Noah Gray's contract is. He underperformed that as well, but it's not prohibiting you. Orlando Brown Jr., if the Chiefs would have paid Orlando Brown Jr. what he was demanding a few years back, that's the kind of contract that I'd compare Christian Watson's to. Now, he ended up not signing that with anybody, but his demand was a contract that you would have known immediately when it was signed. Hey, this is going to prevent the Chiefs from doing something else that they want to do in the future.
Yeah, I think there's two different categories. I think there's a little bit of nuance there to what you said. There is deals not working out, and then there are bad deals. For example, you cannot consider to me Christian Fulton's deal to be a bad deal for the Chiefs, and that's the same vein as Sneed with Tennessee not working out. Two drastically different. One person got $15 million guaranteed. The other person got $51 million guaranteed. They are not in the same vein to me. So I agree. Maybe there's a middle ground here. The Christian Fulton contract has not worked out for the Kansas City Chiefs. But to your point that you just made, it's not prohibitive in which I would consider it to be a bad deal. And even after one season, there's an escape plan if you want to. You have paid him $5 million. You can cut him right now and save $5 million. Now, the money has already been paid out. You guaranteed that money. But kind of like Harrison Butker, kind of like Noah Gray, if you want to save money right now on Christian Fulton, you could. If Christian Fulton is not good enough to make this team, if you feel like Christian Roland Wallace beats him out for a spot and you want that salary cap space and you want to keep that open because of something you might do at the deadline or something that might pop up that you can pick up somebody, you can let go of Christian Fulton with minimal penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what the guaranteed number is for Christian Watson. I don't think we've seen that yet. It's going to be more than a guy like you said. Dobbs got $31 million guaranteed.
I'm seeing a whole lot of people maybe it's just I'm arguing now with social media, which is 100% my fault. But I'm just seeing a whole lot of people argue, well, he only got $31 million guaranteed. Yeah, as the signing bonus. That's not the only guaranteed money you were getting in an NFL contract. It's not just, hey, the day you sign and now everything else you're on your own. No, they'll come up with a bunch of different things to get your money. If you're on the roster at a certain date, if you play in so many games, they guarantee X amount of dollars and all of these things. Christian Watson is not a day after seeing Drake London get $100 million guaranteed. Christian Watson is not now taking $31 million guaranteed. That ain't the way this game works.
No, Christian Watson's guaranteed number will be somewhere between 2 and 3 years of the contract. It'll be somewhere between $60 and $90 million to where they could cut him in that third year, but they might not if he's still producing. And they could definitely cut him before that fourth year. The $31 million is his signing bonus. That's what he's getting today, and that'll be sprinkled throughout the contract against the cap. But that is not the guaranteed number. They don't have an escape plan on Christian Watson for 2 or 3 years, depending on what that guaranteed number ends up being.
Now, text line makes a good point. Jawan Taylor, that's a bad contract.
That was a bad contract.
That's a bad contract. He's not on the team anymore, but we ain't got to argue about the Jawan Taylor. That's a bad deal. That's a bad deal that they continue to be upside down on and underwater on. No, we don't got to argue about the Jawan Taylor one. If we want to find hey, what's a Chiefs bad contract? Jawan Taylor's a bad contract. We don't got to argue that deal. Not at all.
It was a bad contract, and it was prohibitive. The Chiefs had major struggles at left tackle during that time as well. They had to draft a young one, and they had to go through about half a dozen guys before they found one that we think is going to stick in Josh Simmons. Yeah, Jawan Taylor, that's absolutely the kind of contract that we're talking about.
Let's switch gears just a little bit here. We talked about this a bit yesterday, but now it's official. Russell Wilson announces his official retirement from the National Football League. He is now going to go work full-time for CBS. So you will be seeing a lot of Russell Wilson on your television screen. He is now going to be on NFL CBS today. Here was the debate they were having earlier today on First Take. Is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer?
A lot of people throw shade on him or what have you. He's not perfect, but damn it, he's a Hall of Famer. You're a Super Bowl champion. You're a 10-time Pro Bowler. You're 41 games in your career, 40 games in your career, over 500. You know, you've been to the playoffs, you've been to 2 Super Bowls, you won 1. And his first 9 seasons in the NFL, because I understand the last 5 seasons have been a bit rough, particularly with the experience in Denver for a couple of years. And then obviously playing for the New York Giants certainly doesn't help anybody, at least at that particular juncture. But in his first 9 years in the NFL, regular season wins, second all-time to Tom Brady. Postseason wins, second all-time to Tom Brady. Super Bowl wins, 2. 1-1 record. Pro Bowl, 8 of his first 9 seasons. Pro Bowler. Touchdown passes, 4th all-time behind Breeze, Brady, and Rodgers. Total yards, 6th all-time. Quarterback rushing yards, 2nd only to Cam Newton. Passer rating, 3rd behind Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees. Game-winning drives, 2nd only to Matthew Stafford. That's what he did. And so to me, when you got a lot of people going at him, again, he might not have handled things right once he departed from Seattle with Denver, but how are you going to ignore the first 10 years of a cat's career? You're going to look at the Super Bowl, the play to Malcolm Butler, when Malcolm Butler stepped in front of a receiver and intercepted Russell Wilson's pass. Well, you Pete Carroll and Darrell Bell, what the hell are you doing calling that play at the half-yard line for instead of giving it to beast mode? These are the kind of things that people try to hold against Russell Wilson, and the fact that the Legion of Boom really carried them there. But I remember a Russell Wilson that was a nightmare for opposing defenses week in and week out because of his smarts as a 3rd-round pick and his ability to extend plays. He is a Hall of Famer. Let's stop playing with that man.
Yeah, Steven, I gotta vote no here. I gotta vote no on Russell Wilson. I can't do it. I can't do it. This is a game that I usually play that I guess let you guys in on. I try to look up the last 5 Hall of Famers who have gotten in at a certain position. The last 5 guys. And whoever we are arguing, whoever we are debating, do you think that player is at the same level of that 5? So, for example, whenever Patrick Mahomes comes up in argument, we're not going to argue a whole lot about whether or not Patrick Mahomes is, because I think he's clearly going to pass that test. So it's just not going to be that much of a debate to me. But if we are having this conversation now about Russell Wilson, this is where things start to get pretty sticky, because these are the guys that we are talking about, the last 5 quarterbacks to make it into the Hall of Fame. Do you think that Russell Wilson was a better quarterback than Drew Brees, Nathan?
I don't.
I don't think so either. I think the best version of Drew Brees is better than the best version of Russell Wilson. I think it's close, but I think that's the best I think the best version of Brees, I think, is better than him. I also think that Brees has just more personal accolades than Russell Wilson. Peyton Manning. Like, that's what we're talking about now. We're talking about the level that you got to get into as a Hall of Fame level quarterback. We're talking about Kurt Warner, a guy who won NFL MVP, a guy who took multiple teams to a Super Bowl. The best version of Kurt Warner was better than the best version of Russell Wilson.
Yep, I'm with you. I mean, Peyton Manning is a top 5 quarterback of all time. I think that's a little unfair. And then Brady is about to go in as well in a couple of years.
For sure.
So I think it's a little unfair to play this game, which is usually a good game. But yeah, I think all 3 of these guys at their peak are better than Russell Wilson. Yeah, I agree.
But to me, though, I guess part of the conversation about Hall of Fame is having unfair conversations. It's having unfair conversations. I mean, these are the guys who have gotten in at quarterback. Kurt Warner, Drew Brees, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning are the most. Warren Moon. Now, Warren Moon's a little bit different because of his contribution, and we all agree that Warren Moon's a different case. Like, I think Russell Wilson was better than Warren Moon, but again, I think he's different. I don't know if Russell Wilson is on the same level of those individuals. Like, I would not vote for Russell Wilson if I had a Hall of Fame vote. But I think that my barometer to get into the Hall of Fame is a little more difficult than some people. You guys would let people in that I wouldn't let in, vice versa. You guys will let Mike Evans in. We always argue about Mike Evans. I would not vote for Mike Evans in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So my barometer is a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit more stringent. Russ doesn't clear that bar.
So I also don't think Russ is a Hall of Famer, but I'll push back a little bit because quick research here says 26 modern era quarterbacks are in the Hall of Fame. If you asked me, is Russell Wilson a top 25 quarterback in the league's history, I'd say no, not even close. But I think we all agree Matt Stafford is going to be a Hall of Famer. And are we penalizing Russ just because his career is simply backwards to Matt Stafford's? He had the success at the beginning instead of the end. On a year average, Russell Wilson averages 29-9. Stafford averages 30-14. Stafford's a little higher on the yards, but Stafford had a few years early in his career where he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. He was on a bad, forgotten team, and the success has come in his late 30s. Russ, man, those Denver and New York days just killed all the positive vibes around him. So how much of this is his career just tailed off in a way that most people's don't?
Yeah, for sure. Like someone said, what's the comparison between Russ and Steve Young? I think the argument is just going to be Steve Young was better for a lot more years and certainly into the prime of his career. Now, I mean, we didn't get a chance to see what the ceiling looks like. I mean, Steve Young didn't become a starter in the league until 30. Remember, he played in the USFL for a couple of years. He then enters the league at 24, so he enters kind of young, and he didn't start pretty consistently in the National Football League until year 7 for him. But once he started, he was amazing. Also noticeable, he won NFL MVP. He won it twice. That is not the case for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson doesn't have a lot of personal accolades. Russell Wilson he's been to a bunch of Pro Bowls and his team won a Super Bowl, which matters. That's why we're having the conversation about Russell Wilson. I would not vote for him for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think that Steve Young's a pretty fun argument. I just think Young's higher up the mark than he is.
And I'm a no on Russell Wilson as well. I just think I would probably revert back to Stephen A. Smith's take as well, as I think we criticize him for the last couple of years too much. We forget just how good Russell Wilson was, and it wasn't just the Legion of Boom carrying the Seahawks. Do they win the Super Bowl? Do they go to 2 without the Legion of Boom? No. Russell Wilson was amazing. He was elite at his peak. Russell Wilson was elite, and I think he gets a little too disrespected these days.
Yeah, someone on the text line says they've been letting guys into the Hall of Fame, and now they're picking the line with Russell Wilson. That's not really what they do at quarterback. Like, if we go through the list of quarterbacks in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you got to clear a pretty amazing bar in order to be a quarterback that gets elected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Like, it's the real list of the all-time greats. I mean, Eli's having a tough time getting in. Now, I think that Russell was a better quarterback than Eli Manning, but I think we all looked at Eli as, oh, yeah, he'll eventually get in. Yeah, I don't know if Eli is eventually getting into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Maybe he's got to wait a little bit, but I'm not entirely sure if he's getting into the Hall of Fame. So I certainly agree with you. I think the bar is lower at other positions than at some positions. I don't know if that bar is low at quarterback in order to get in, and that's why I think this next generation is going to be interesting. I think Matthew Ryan has an argument about it. Matt Stafford is going to have a Hall of Fame argument. Russell Wilson is a guy that's going to have a Hall of Fame argument. Ben Roethlisberger, like, there's going to be a lot of guys that come up here in these next 10 years, guys we saw their career, and there's going to be fun debates on whether or not you're going to put that guy into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Keep it right here. You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
FanDuel is giving you even better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. And with more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From point spreads to player points to threes and so much more, you can build it all into one simple same-game parlay and go for an even bigger payout. So if you're betting a same-game parlay this NBA postseason, you can bet them with America's #1 sportsbook app with our friends over at FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check every stat, trend, and matchup all in one place. You can make your picks with confidence. Everything you need in just one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel right now, America's #1 sportsbook app and official partner of the NBA, and play your game. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Slowing down? It's only going to get worse. Head off bigger problems with a $79 mainline drain cleaning from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Plus, a free video camera inspection to pinpoint exactly where that clog is. We'll clear the problem the right way and get your home back to normal. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
If your engine takes longer to start in the morning than you do, don't worry. Just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com. You know how avoiding eye contact with people when your brakes screech makes it less awkward? It doesn't. But you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Sun, sand, and stress-free travel start with Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking. Keep your car cool with all covered parking and enjoy fast shuttles right to the terminal. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned, customer approved.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, the multi-car crash to working 70 eastbound just past Sterling Avenue, right lane blocked there. You've got 70 eastbound just prior to that at Manchester, right lane blocked. So big problems there if you're headed out towards Blue Springs. The stall, 35 northbound, the on-ramp from 119th, everything off to the shoulder now. But a lot of onlooker delay, and that was an earlier wreck that's unwinding. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey Kansas City, it's Bobby Witt Jr. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, two things I like to talk about in this segment. First thing is, Spectre came up to me today and said, "Do you have a fitness update?" And I was like, "No, not really. I mean, I don't try to force updates. If there's something to tell you guys, then I'll share it with you. But I don't really have anything. But I was thinking a little bit more, Nathan, and I would like to share this. I don't know if this is necessarily an update or not, but I have been a lot more mindful over the last couple of weeks about what I've been eating. I've been looking at the nutrition facts and reading and trying to make sure I get enough protein and try to stay away from fats and sugars. And, I've been trying to be a lot more mindful in my diet. I got a goal. I'm trying to get there. So you got to be disciplined in it. One thing that I learned is that a whole lot of seasonings don't have any calories in it. There's a lot of seasonings you can use that are calorie free, which then made me wonder, why don't people use them then? I was genuinely confused. It seems like it's only positives with very few negatives. Your food tastes better and it doesn't add to the calories of what you're eating. So it really made me confused as now I'm like looking at the labels of things and just trying to how much sodium is this? How much is this? I just been trying to learn more and more about it. I was then confused at why we look at some people's food and you're thinking, hey, you didn't put any seasoning on this. You didn't even try to season it. Not even a little bit. You didn't put a little onion powder on it. You didn't put a little garlic pepper on it. You didn't put a little nothing on it. It became very confusing to me once I learned this. I didn't know that. If you had told me, I would have thought that these things had calories. I eat hot sauce every day. I've been eating the same breakfast. I was like, oh, wait, hot sauce doesn't have any calories? Of course, well, I'm going to use it. Why would I not? It makes my breakfast taste better. That's my fitness update for the day. I don't get it. I don't understand why people don't use more seasonings. Very confusing.
Are you secretly hoping that I dive into the Two Americas thing here and tell you that I don't use seasoning?
No, I just was telling you this. I don't know. So. I can't assume. Yeah. I have absolutely no clue. I don't know.
Hot sauce, I use a lot of hot sauce. My other secret one is curry powder. We were talking earlier about I eat chicken and rice or salmon and rice every day for lunch. I put curry powder on everything. It's got, I think, maybe like 5 calories in a serving. It's going to add to your meal. It makes it 10 times better. Hot sauce and curry powder, man, those are my 2 secrets. Almost every single meal has one of those 2 things in them.
Okay, that's what I'm here. I want to pass that. Someone said the guys who eat unseasoned chicken and rice are just unhinged. There's a word you forgot in there. There's a word in between the and guys that you forgot in that sentence, and I want to make sure that you include that in there. I just want to make sure that next time you type that in there because you forgot it. And maybe that was by accident. Maybe it was by choice. I just want to be sure to put that on there. Someone on the text line said, what's the go-to hot sauce? Don't ask me a question like that. You know the answer. Louisiana. That's what it is, Louisiana.
Valentina's for me. Thank you.
Terrible decisions. Louisiana hot sauce. 1 drop just does it. That's all you need. One drop.
It is so good. It is good stuff.
Phenomenal.
It is.
1 drop. 1 drop just does it. That's all you need. So that is my fitness update for the day. Please use seasonings. Very, very important. Second thing that I want to tell you guys before we get back to very serious sports things. Now, I don't know if this is true or not true, which makes it the perfect sports talk radio topic because I can't really verify it, confirm it, or deny it. Nathan, there is a rumor going around right now that for Travis Kelce's and Taylor Swift's wedding, they are not allowing +1s. Now, I don't believe this. I understand why some people would not have +1s, we got to allow you, we got to pay for all these things. But I'm going to assume that for this wedding, money is not really an option. I would also guess that for you to be at the level in which these 2 people have allowed you to share in a very private moment of theirs, I don't think TMZ is going to be posted up or anything like that. No, this is going to be people that really know these 2 individuals. I just would assume that you're close enough to Travis Kelce that I'm bringing somebody. Yeah, of course. Come on, pull up. The more the merrier. Let's have a good time. I don't believe that they're not allowing +1s at the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift wedding. Now, I have been at a wedding and they were like, hey, Nick's wedding. Hey, you're not married. You don't have a girlfriend. We're just not going to give you a +1. Now, if I had been like, hey, I want a +1, I'm bringing so-and-so, I don't think it would have been an issue. But they told me that from the very, very beginning. Hey, space is limited. We want you to come, but we're just not going to give you a +1. But that wasn't the case for everybody that was there. Yeah, I don't believe this. I'm not buying this rumor. I think they're allowing +1s.
Hard disagree. If you're Travis Kelce famous or Nick Wright famous, sure, you can have a +1. Do you understand Taylor Swift's fans and the lengths they will go to get access or information or just to like pull up around, like to be in the vicinity of the venue of the day of the wedding? This is, if I had to guess, this is Taylor saying, hey, Travis, you have a buddy. Let's just call him Jack. And Jack, he's not going serious with anybody, and he likes to, those girls on Instagram hit him up, and he likes to have some fun. That buddy of Travis Kelce's is going to be inundated with inquiries about how do I become your date to Taylor and Travis's wedding. There are going to be imposters at that thing if they allow +1s. I 100% believe that Taylor Swift is not allowing +1s.
Yeah, but to me, the imposters, though, I mean, you also just got to think about who you're inviting in all of this, right? You just got to think about this. If you're inviting, I don't know, random fill-in-the-blank famous person, you invited Adam Sandler, who's not a random person, but, he was in Happy Gilmore 2, Travis, hey, we want you to come to the wedding. Having Adam Sandler come to your wedding, you're telling me Adam Sandler can't bring his wife to the wedding? What are we talking about here? Of course Adam Sandler can bring his wife to the wedding. That's what I mean. I don't know if anybody is randomly being invited. This feels like these are two people or whoever is helping them plan this, and I'm sure it's a lot of people on his team and her team trying to put together this thing. There's some conversations. Hey, we're only letting in 250, but this is going to be a real tight list.
Oh, they have to whittle down a guest list probably more than any couple in history has had to whittle down a guest list. And I, as someone who got married last year, you know how much each person that attends your wedding is going to cost you. You know what the food costs. So you know that person and how much they're going to drink and what that costs. I can't even fathom what adding an extra 50 people to this wedding would run Taylor and Travis. They've got the money. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
they just said, I just saw today in Forbes. Forbes says that she's worth $2 billion. I don't think that she's worried about the extra 50 people pulling up. I don't know if she's worried about that. I just don't know.
I got no counterpoint. You're right.
Somebody said they're trying to control the photos to sell. I mean, there's not a lot of photos of these two people that we don't already want out. Or they don't want out, right? Like, they already do a really good job of kind of keeping their relationship private enough that we don't know every single thing that goes on. I mean, they also got engaged, it sounds like days before they finally told us, and then eventually they were the ones that announced it. So I'm all for their privacy. I find it hard to believe that, you aren't getting a +1. I think you get a +1. In this thing.
Yeah, no +1, including like spouses. That's too far. That's too far.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's somebody in text line saying your wife. That's counted as you. They don't want any random people there. Okay, all right, maybe that's the rule. I don't know.
And I get the randos.
I've only had one wedding in which I wasn't allowed to bring a +1 to. Every other time it was if you bring somebody, cool.
Yeah, and you had somebody in mind that you were gonna.
No, I didn't even have anybody in mind. I just was like, that's what they told me from the very beginning. I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's fine.
But you had an objective when you went to that wedding, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, cool, whatever. That's what you want me to do, man.
You were fine.
I'm not here going to argue that. It's your wedding. You tell me no, I'm fine. I can't wait to be there. It's going to be a great time. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, let's talk about L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed is in Kansas City visiting with the Chiefs. What does that mean? Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Tune in to hear the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals, Denny Matthews.
There's a high fly ball, deep left center. That goes Ward to the wall. Gone. Bobby Witt Jr.
Every Monday at 3, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, the multi-car crash to working 70 eastbound just past Sterling Avenue, right lane blocked there. You've got 70 eastbound just prior to that at Manchester, right lane blocked. So big problems there if you're headed out towards Blue Springs. The stall, 35 northbound, the on-ramp from 119th, everything off to the shoulder now. But a lot of onlooker delay, and that was an earlier wreck that's unwinding. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell doesn't fudge on deliciousness. Our new black raspberry fudge ice cream in pints and half gallons combines black raspberry flavored ice cream with dark chocolate flavored chunks and a chocolate fudge swirl. The result is real. Taste the truth.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at select Walmart supercenters and select neighborhood markets.
I can't raise my arms, I can't climb stairs, and I can't kneel down, which means I can't play with the kids, golf with the guys, or get through a workday without exhausting pain. Hey, it's Bob Fesco, and I'm here to celebrate what you can do. That's exactly what QC Kinetics patients are doing. Not bracing for that next jolt of pain. It's gone. They've moved on, back to living their lives. You've heard me talk about the team at QC Kinetics, and so many of you have already been through their game-changing regenerative treatments, and it's all done right in the office. No missing work, no surgery, no long recovery. The inflammation calms down and the pain backs off. So go find out what you can do. It's a good life out there, folks. Go live it to the fullest. Let's get rid of that pain starting right now. The consultation is totally free. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. The 5th annual Cody and Gold Garage Sale is back Wednesday, June 10th, with all auction items benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, let's get back to the top story. The top story, in my opinion, in Kansas City is L'Jarius Sneed is in town. He is visiting with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I do not know this. I'm not reporting this, but I would imagine if L'Jarius Sneed passes his physical, L'Jarius Sneed is going to join the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it would basically be no money to add him. You sign Kader Kohou to a 1-year, $1.8 million deal. I don't really know why Sneed wouldn't sign something for very similar than he is. And you roll the dice with the player that knows your system and knows your scheme. I do want to get back to the Sneed conversation here in just a bit. But, Nathan, let's talk about it from this perspective. If the Chiefs are interested in bringing back L'Jarius Sneed, you would have to assume that they have had very serious conversations about Tyreek Hill, right? Now, I understand that Tyreek Hill is a different beast. They traded away L'Jarius Sneed under a much different context. I don't think that Sneed wanted to be traded. I think that Tyreek did want to be traded. I think Tyreek walked up into the record label and said, pay me my advance, and the record label said no, so they figured out a way to get him off of the label. I don't think that's what happened with L'Jarius Sneed. I don't think the Chiefs had a whole lot of interest. In fact, I know the Chiefs didn't have a whole lot of interest, so they were happy to accommodate L'Jarius Sneed and then let him go play elsewhere. L'Jarius Sneed, we also believe, would be healthy enough to be able to help the Chiefs in week 1, which is also a different scenario than we're potentially talking about with Tyreek Hill, even though we don't really have an update on his standing. But I guess to begin this conversation, if they've been having conversations about Sneed, which that is now confirmed, they brought him in for a visit, you would have to assume that they have had a lot of conversations about Tyreek Hill, and they are absolutely monitoring the Tyreek Hill situation. And if he gets closer to playing football, whether it is in August or October, that Kansas City would be near the top of the list of bringing him back.
Yeah, I mean, L'Jarius Sneed, finding out that he's in touch with the Chiefs is 5 times more surprising than the headline that Tyreek Hill is in Kansas City that'll drop in a month will be. The Chiefs monitor everyone that used to play for them. They're probably still monitoring Derek Nottie and Mike Pinnell. They're probably monitoring like Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. The Chiefs never stop calling their exes. I would not be surprised whatsoever if it's Tyreek Hill. I am surprised at L'Jarius Sneed. You're right about the separate context in which they were traded, though, and also that knee was a ticking time bomb. It was an open secret that teams were weary of that L'Jarius Sneed knee injury, and the Chiefs found a system in Tennessee that was ran by ex-Kansas City Chiefs. There was a lot of trust there between the organizations, and they took a roll on the dice of L'Jarius Sneed. Now, it didn't go well. He didn't play in a lot of games there. But, yeah, if the Chiefs are open to bringing a guy like him back, of course they're going to be in contact with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, and this is just the thing. Now, I get it. It's a joke. C-Dot, whose knees do you think are in better shape? Do you think it's Sneed or Hill? To answer the question, honestly, I think the answer probably is L'Jarius Sneed, more so than I think it's Tyreek Hill. But where I do want to be fair to Sneed and fair to the potential signing that I think is going to happen by the end of the week, that's just kind of what you get at this stage of free agency. There are no more massive moves to make in free agency. Now, that's not to say you could make a trade. Like, you could trade for Brandon Ayuk. I consider that to be a big move. We just saw the Myles Garrett trade happen a couple days ago. We just saw the A.J. Brown deal happen. Like, trades are always available. But if we are talking about guys right now that are out of work, Guys right now that are sitting at home, working out, waiting on the phone to call, and waiting for a team to pick them up. Man, it is really, really, I would say, a buyer's market now in that context, where the teams, like, yeah, you can, Sneed would go visit a whole lot of teams, but there's a reason why you're available. I mean, we're past the free agency period. We're past the draft. Teams are doing on-the-field workouts right now. Everybody doesn't have I could just sign up in August and I can skip all of this stuff and show up at training camp. Yeah, that might be the case for 10 to 15 of these guys. Man, some of you guys, you were not at training camp on purpose, not because it was part of some plan to make this happen. So I think Sneed's trying to get on a team, which certainly would make sense. And if you're Sneed, you're trying to ease your entry point. This is a team that you know. This is a defense that hasn't really changed. It's a locker room that at its core, at its foundation, is the same. This makes a lot of sense to me why, if you're Sneed, you would want to come back. Makes a lot of sense to me if you're Kansas City, why you would want Sneed to come back. This is a guy we know, a guy who has been a good player in this system, a guy that we know can get the most out of. Adding a little additional pass rush is certainly not the worst thing. Now, it's not the traditional place in which you would get it, but if there was one thing that Sneed was really good at in his time in Kansas City, it's coming off the edge as that nickel corner, as that slot corner, and getting to the other team's quarterback. Hell, if that's all he does, if you don't use him for anything else, and he's just a guy that's going to get after the other team's quarterback and you disguise and move him around and use him in that package, for how much money I think they're going to pay him, I don't necessarily think it's a bad deal. This is a contract where I don't really see many negatives to it. I only really see positives based on how much they are going to give him. I'm assuming he's going to sign for less than $3 million. I'd be surprised at this stage if he signed for more than $3 million. At that stage, to pick up a corner who was very good in your system just a couple of years ago, that I'm imagining that the guarantee is going to be relatively low. You bring him into your system, you see if it can work, and if you can add a little value, great. If not, you can release him and thank him for his day. I would also guess if it doesn't work in Kansas City, Sneed will probably retire. Yeah, I could see a scenario. I think it's a small scenario. I could see a scenario in which the Chiefs bring him in here. They think he's got something in camp. It doesn't really work. If Sneed couldn't go back to Kansas City and work, why would Seattle now take a chance? Why would the Rams? The Chiefs clearly knew something. They knew enough to not sign him the first time. They knew enough to cut him before the season. I could see Sneed just retiring and saying, hey, I've made good money. Let me go live the rest of my life.
Yeah, I see Cam Jordan as maybe the one big name still out there that would just not have an interest in going to OTAs and mini camps and much of training camp. On the wide receiver side, those guys are all hurt, all banged up, all have personality concerns, except for like maybe Keenan Allen is the biggest name left that just is unsigned. No, L'Jarius Sneed's at that point in his career where there is a reason why he's available, like you said. And I was going to go towards the retirement angle as well before you picked it up there. L'Jarius Sneed is at the point in his career where it's, I hope I get a chance. If he can prove that he can stay healthy this year, maybe he'll do the same thing next summer with a different team. Maybe the Cleveland Browns will give him a camp invite 1 year for $1.5 million. But L'Jarius Sneed, if the Chiefs didn't come calling, I'm not sure any team would have given him the chance to prove that he could stay healthy. I mean, maybe he was only looking at he gets a call in training camp when someone goes down. Yeah, he could have been closer to retirement than we realize. I agree with you on that.
Someone just texted in, all the veteran wide receivers that are available will give you more than what the Chiefs have at their wide receiver 3 and below. I'm shocked they're talking to a DB before they would talk to a wide receiver or a defensive lineman. I think this is very Sneed specific. I don't think you can really read that much into it, given the proximity to Sneed and how they think as an organization. If Sneed had no ties to Kansas City and they brought a corner in, it would ring a little bit more of an alarm to me. But the fact that they know Sneed, I don't think any team was going to touch him a couple of weeks ago when he had some off-the-field legal issues that he was trying to navigate through. He has been completely cleared. He comes out on the other side, and now he's sitting there without a home. Hey, let me check in with my old team. Let me see some old faces, and let me see if it's possibly a fix. So I wouldn't read too much into they see corner as more of a need than wide receiver or defensive line because they're trying to bring back L'Jarius Sneed. I at least don't look into it that way.
Yeah, and I also think we have to think about all the reasons why the Chiefs want to move off of Christian Fulton. We talked about earlier how this might be an indictment on Christian Fulton's play. Is he unplayable to the point where you'd cut him? Maybe not. But are the Chiefs looking at their roster and thinking, man, we do need a wide receiver 3? Because you're not getting a Keenan Allen or a Tyreek Hill for 1 year, $1 million like you did Kader Kohu. You're not getting Deebo Samuel for that amount of money. So they're looking at the roster. They had to move around Karlaftis' money just to pay their draft class. And where is this money coming from should we need to add to that room? I don't want it to be a Jones restructure. I mean, maybe they could touch Creed's money, but their safest bet right now might be, hey, look, now we can move off of Christian Fulton if we need a few extra dollars to bolster the roster elsewhere. So I think, are they confident in his knee? We'll see. There could be a few different reasons why this signing happened. It's not just because they view cornerback as a bigger need.
Coming up on the other side, let's talk about Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks, they have won 12 consecutive playoff games. They controlled the fourth quarter last night against the Spurs. I'll give you my thoughts on that. And coming up on the other side, I noticed something very interesting yesterday when we were talking about Rashee Rice. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive.
My man, Carrington Arrington.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan.
Hi, Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford, Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
So what is going on at Lewisburg Ford?
Hey, we've got an amazing promotion right now, Toby. We've got employee pricing for everyone. That means you don't have to negotiate price and you can buy a brand new Ford just like a Ford employee can. It's a big benefit to them. Now it's a big benefit to everybody.
But now the dealers are all the same as you?
Every dealer's going to be the same price. So the only thing that makes a difference is the dealer who you're working with. And Lewisburg Ford is the best, okay? I'm touting how good we are.
Okay.
23 President's Award, the number one F-150 dealer in the Kansas City area 9 years in a row, and the biggest F-150 dealer for 5 years in the state of Kansas.
I know you are the best place to buy a Ford.
We're going to take better care of you than anybody.
Period. Yes.
Absolutely.
How long is this going on?
Well, we can come to you, and we're going to do this through the 7th of July. So if you want us to come to you, we can come to you, or we'd love to see you in Lewisburg.
What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Or LewisburgFord.com.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens. The world's game at BetMGM is here. Bet on the soccer showdowns with 2 up early payout so that if you're up 2, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Let's say you put your money on Leo Messi in Argentina. They go up 2 early in the first half. Well, BetMGM will pay you. That's right. Place a pre-game straight match result bet on any tournament game. If at any point your team is up by 2 goals, you will instantly win your bet. Then enjoy BetMGM's same-game parlays, daily promotions, player props, and so much more for the world's game. You like Ronaldo at Portugal. You like Harry Kane in England. Whoever it may be, don't miss your shot at an early win with 2 up early payout to get paid out if at any point your team is up by 2 goals. Regardless of the final outcome of the match, make it a tournament to remember with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply. Please gamble responsibly.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years, and they know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830. 816-265-2830 for all your cooling, heating, and plumbing needs. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Mia from the Winnings Desk. Every Missouri lottery ticket helps support Missouri public education. Over $8 billion and counting. I was going to list every school, but yeah, there's over 2,400 of them. See the full list at molottery.com/education. Play it forward and play responsibly.
Tonight, expect showers and thunderstorms with a low of 68.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I need a little range, step to the range, come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Brought to you by the Kansas City Auto Show now through Sunday, Overland Park Convention Center. Okay, Raytown, that's a crash. 350 Highway westbound at 63rd. Be prepared to tap your brakes there. Still working the one multi-car crash now on 70 that's left. 70 eastbound just past Sterling Avenue. Right lane blocked and very heavy through there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. I mean, I've learned this lesson before in my life, but I've seen it kind of play itself out in real time over the last 24 hours or so. So why don't we just discuss it? This is a off the court thing with the NBA, and I do want to talk about the on the court. Nathan, have you seen that there is a group of people that are upset that some of the Spurs did not put their hand over their heart during the national anthem? Now, if you watch the video, the players either have their hand behind their back and are just looking forward. Some of them have their head down. They are just standing there during the national anthem, and people have used this as a talking point. They're very mad at the NBA. The only reason I bring this up is because I think more and more we start to learn, like, if you are already on the side of something, you will then look for more evidence why it is you feel the way that you feel. Like, there's a group of people that have made it, I hate the NBA for whatever reason. They shoot too many threes. They don't play defense. They don't try. Whatever reason you don't like the NBA, that then I feel like every story is then trying to justify, see, it's why I don't like the NBA. I saw the video. Now, I didn't notice it when it was happening in real time. I was doing something while that part was on. But then I was thinking, like, I don't always put my hand over my heart, but I take my hat off. I sit there. I'm not talking. I'm respectful during this moment, of course, but I'm not going to say every single time I have my hand over my heart when it's going on. So I was wondering, like, man, other people do this every single time? Like, I was a little bit surprised that there was this backlash when it came to it. Now, this might be a weird segue, but follow me here. So yesterday, Nathan, you weren't here, but I asked the question, would you rather have Rashee Rice or Marvin Harrison Jr.? And if I had asked this question, let's say 6-7 months ago, it would have been overwhelming Rashee Rice. Overwhelming. But there was a point. Now, maybe that point was when he violated probation. Maybe that point happened before then. But I have never seen a turn with a fan base, with a player, like it's happened the last 10 months for Rashee Rice. Now, we don't got to go all the way back to the beginning of this, but it was not that long ago that it was, I cannot wait until Rashee Rice gets here. He is going to make such a difference. We are adding such a difference maker to the offense. He's got a chance to be a legitimate one. And if it wasn't for the Patrick Mahomes injury, Rashee Rice would be one of the top 10 receivers in the National Football League. Last season doesn't go as anticipated. I mean, it wasn't just a Rashee Rice thing. I would say that was the case for a lot of people in the Chiefs offense. I'd even include Patrick Mahomes. It didn't really go from a number standpoint how anybody wanted it to go. And I think there has been a turn with Rashee Rice in which he can do no right. That I am wondering, is there anything off the field Rashee Rice can do? Or is it very simple of, you got to show up on Sundays, you got to prove it, you got to be there? Because that's kind of what it feels like to me. We talk about the circle of trust on this show a lot, Nathan. And at this point, it is very, very safe to say that Rashee Rice is one of the few players that is entering the season that is not in the circle of trust. I'm not really sure if he can get back into the circle of trust with a lot of people. But I guess what I am surprised about with Rashee Rice is there now seems to be a lot of people who are down on his ability. You might be down on his character or his ability to make the right decision, his decision making. Those are all separate entities to me. I am not down on Rashee Rice's ability to be a productive player for the Chiefs this year. So I was a little bit surprised seeing the commentary, going back, listening to the show, the text line, all of these things. I am surprised. It feels to me like there is a great number of Chiefs fans that are down now on the ability of Rashee Rice because of all the things that have happened.
Yeah, I guess I might surprise you then. I think I would take Marvin Harrison Jr. as well. It is a two-pronged conversation, though, with Rashee Rice. Obviously, the off-the-field stuff has, I think we have all collectively realized this is not just a young man who made a mistake one time, and he's getting back from that, and he's working on that. This is a guy who is going to continue to make questionable decisions until proven otherwise. But also on the field, I think it was, hey, as soon as he's back and healthy again, he's going to be like he was his rookie year. Man, I remember Nate sitting on this show talking about saying words like effort and finishing routes and things like that. And so I also think the fan sentiment has become maybe he isn't a Drake London type contract deserving player, even if the off the field stuff resolves. So I think we held Rashee Rice for a couple of years in hey, he made a bad choice and he blew out his knee, but he'll be back. And from both fronts, off and on the field, I don't think fans see him as someone that can redeem themselves. I think they're over him.
I also wonder this part, too. Now, there's no way for us to know this, right? There's no way for us to know this. But I understand this. C-Dot, he's in jail. Yes, I'd rather have the guy who isn't currently locked up. Somebody else said the greatest ability is availability, and he's in jail. I wonder how much of the conversation with Rashee Rice would be different if Rashee Rice had voluntarily decided to do his 30 days now, as opposed to being forced to do his 30 days. Because I don't want to undersell it like this is not important. But we also have to be clear here. Right now, all Rashee Rice is missing is voluntary practice. He does not have to be at these practices. It is not a negative. He will not be fined for not being at these practices. Every NFL player has the ability to say no to going to OTAs. Now, again, it's encouraged. It would be better for him to be there than not be there. But all we're talking about is he has missed a small handful of voluntary practices in which nobody thinks they are high level or high stress. Like, nobody thinks that. This is more team building and be around the guys that, again, it is important to be at with all of this. But again, I now feel like people are down on the ability of Rashee Rice, which I'm not at that point. Now, I never was as high on him as everybody else is. When everybody else was arguing he was a top 10 guy, I was like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. But the point I will keep making with Rashee Rice that I think even if you are on the other side that you were just over it and ready to move on, I don't think you need Rashee Rice to take some magical step. All you need Rashee Rice to do is quite literally be the same receiver he's been, just stay on the field. if he can be the exact same receiver that he's been for the last 2 seasons when he's been on the field in the last 2 seasons, so the first 4 games of 2024, he then got the knee injury, and the 8 games that he played last year, in 12 games, 77 catches for 859 yards, averaging 11 yards per catch with 7 touchdowns. You do not need Rashee Rice to transform into somebody else. Days ago about Xavier Worthy, you are asking Xavier Worthy to turn into somebody else. You are asking Xavier Worthy to improve. We are not asking Rashee Rice to improve. It's basically, can you stay on the field and stay healthy? And if Rashee Rice is on the field, I just don't know how you could be so down on Rashee Rice heading into it, other than the personal stuff, which again, that all makes sense to me if that's why you're down on him. My point more than anything is Rashee Rice is the same receiver that you were optimistic about in September. He's the same receiver you were optimistic about in October. The same guy that you were optimistic about in November. Nothing has really changed since then to now be so down on him.
Yeah, see, I think, unfortunately, the cost-benefit analysis to having him on your roster, period, is what's swaying the fans' opinion of him on the field. Look, I don't care if any of this stuff is his fault. The knee injury he had, Mahomes missing time last year, his suspension, a couple of the drops in big moments last year. Whatever it is, he would need to be ascending, or at least performing like he was, for fans to look at his behavior off the field and say, hey, this might be worth it because of his play. Look at Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill wasn't necessarily improving the more scandalous stuff that happened here in town, but fans, there was a give and a take. Is he worth it? Is he not worth it? All Rashee Rice did was smoke weed. I mean, I went out and had a couple of beers for Game 7 over the weekend. Those two are the same to me, right? Like, he didn't go commit a crime against a person again, but his decision making, the fact that someone told him to not do it and he did it again, is a reinforcement of what fans think about him off the field. They don't see him as a team guy. They see him as a individually oriented player.
Do we think Rashee Rice would even be practicing right now? I don't have the answer to that. But we are talking about a guy that just recently had his knee scoped. I'm not even sure if he would be participating in OTAs anyway. Now, I would certainly feel better if he was in Kansas City on the sideline standing there than currently in lockup. There's no question about that. But I now don't want to, on the flip side now, overreact to what is happening. He gets out in 2 weeks. He gets out on the 17th. So he has the rest of June, a large majority of July. Like, we're not talking about he's going to spend the entire summer in the county. He spends a small portion of the summer there. I'm still a Rashee Rice believer. So if you were telling me right now that people are down on him and they are ready to sell stock on Rashee Rice, fine. Like, someone on the text line just sent, I would cut Rashee Rice and go get a true number 1 receiver. If the Chiefs did that, I'm telling you, almost every team in the league would put in a claim. There's no reason not to put in a claim. He's making no money now at this point. He's still on his rookie deal. If it works out, great. Phenomenal if it ends up working out.
Yeah, I think if we had the conversation of, do you expect him to produce this year still, my answer would be yes. But if the question was, do you want him on your team long term? Or if you were starting a team, do you want him?
To me, those are two different things. If we're I'm only having a 2026 conversation about Rashee Rice. I've already made my decision on 2027. I don't want him on the team in 2027. I don't want him on the team in 2028. But for this season, for a guy who's making $1.5 million, for a guy whose cap hit is $2 million, and they literally receive no financial benefit to moving on from Rashee Rice. And even if you tried to trade him right now, you're trading him for pennies on the dollar. If the Chiefs are at the point that they're done with Rashee Rice, I'm taking advantage of that, and I'm offering you a 6. I'm offering you a 7 for Rashee Rice, and we all know he's worth much more than that. So it is in everybody's best interest for this to work. It is in the Chiefs' best interest. It is in Rashee Rice's best interest. It is in his aide. It is in everybody's best interest to try to make 2026 go as positive and smooth as possible. And God rest Therese Paylor's soul. But he always said a contract year is undefeated. If there was ever a reason to just go ball out for one, whatever ball out means, if that means 950 yards, if that means 1,200 yards for Rashee Rice, if there was ever a time to go ball out, it's this time if you're Rashee Rice.
Yeah, rest in peace to Therese. If there's ever someone who has been up, who has had the contract year down and out or against the ropes, it would be Rashee Rice. And he's trying to defeat the contract year. Don't get me wrong. I just, look, if the Chiefs are planning on competing for a playoff spot this year, Rashee Rice better be a productive player. He better look more like rookie year Rashee Rice down the stretch than the last couple of years Rashee Rice on the field. But I think we being you and I, are unfortunately conflating the two conversations. Because the people that are saying get rid of him now, cut him, trade him now, are absolutely ridiculous. But I think the bulk of Chiefs fans are just saying in no way, shape, or form should you pay him because he is not a team-oriented player. I don't think they're upset he's not at OTAs or that he's in jail.
I think people are upset at
a joke.
I disagree with you. I think people are genuinely upset at it.
I think it's in jest. I think it's a joke. I think it's hilarious.
I do not believe that. If you believe it's perfectly fine. I do not believe that people are joking about they don't care that he is in jail. I think that, he has cried wolf too many times. He has been in trouble too many times. I think people have just decided that he is not worth the headache. That I would just disagree at how much they are paying him. He is still absolutely worth the headache at this point. Now, next year, when the money changes, he will not be worth the headache to me. But for $1.5 million, I don't have that much of a problem with him being in jail from May 24th until June 17th. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's the guy who could put up 1,000 yards in the league. So for $1.5 million, if you're not out there physically harming or endangering other people in any way, shape, or form, I don't really care what you do off the field, where you're sleeping at night, where you're rehabbing your knee, what you're putting in your body. You do what you want to do. I'm with you. I just think I think the conversation is, look, you see this text line more than I do. I was here on the day the news broke. You see it more than I do, though. But I think Chiefs fans I don't think it is as much of a get rid of him now as it is don't pay him. If we think this is a team that can win 10 or 11 games this year, it involves Rashee Rice being a 1,000-yard receiver. That is the end of the story.
The only way the Chiefs, to me, can reach their goals are if Rashee Rice is good this season. If you are somebody that thinks the Chiefs can win their division, tell me how you think they win the division without Rashee Rice. If you think they can compete and potentially win a Super Bowl, tell me how you think they do that without Rashee Rice. So if you're not one of those people, if you think the Chiefs are going to win 8 games this year, then yeah, Rashee Rice can do whatever he wants. But if you got them winning 11, 12 games, knocking off the Broncos, knocking off the Los Angeles Chargers, being a true contender to the Broncos, Patriots, and those teams, you tell me how they do that if Rashee Rice has 495 yards receiving. I don't know how they do it. With who do they do it with?
That's a scary number. I don't think Xavier Worthy's eclipsing 800 yards even in his best year. And then you're looking at Tyquan Thornton or 37-year-old Travis Kelce. Where are the yards coming from if it's not Rashee Rice through the air? It's scary hours quick if he's not on this team performing well. I'm with you. They're an under 500 team if Rice is either of the last 2 years this year.
Text line 913-586-7965. Rice is supposed to be the lead wide receiver. He's Mahomes' main weapon, but the dude just doesn't care about the team. He's a poison. Get rid of him. Text line 913-586-7965. Genuine curiosity. If he fails a drug test in week 4, he doesn't get another 30 days. The second time would be that much worse. That drug test is not going to come from the NFL. I don't know anything about his legal situation other than what everybody else knows about his legal situation. I have absolutely no clue what happens, but that drug test will not come from the National Football League. They don't test for it anymore, so he can smoke all he wants according to the NFL. Now, again, I don't know his probation officer, I don't know all the ins and outs of when he gets tested and all of those things, but it never really seemed that coincidental to me that he posted a picture that he was on Bourbon Street and then 10 days later he got popped for smoking weed. I'm assuming they realized what I realized. Hey, you down in New Orleans, you having a good time? Hey, why don't we bring you in here and see if you've been doing what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, the league's not looking into him, that's for sure. The last thing they want is themselves to create another headline for this player. But it is, I don't know the answer to the texter's question. I don't know enough about his case or the criminal law, how it runs in Texas. This was his original 30 days. I don't know what a second failed drug test would do to him. That's a good question. Let's hope we don't find out.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get back to L'Jarius Sneed coming up at the top of the hour. I want to talk a little bit of basketball here for just a bit. I thought the game last night, it really came down to 3 sequences in the game on why I think the Knicks, 4 sequences. There was a 2-minute stretch that Karl Anthony Towns played as well as I've ever seen him play. all the conversations that we were having as a basketball public about Chet Holmgren, Cat did all of the things that people want at Wemby. I understand Wemby's 7'4", 7'5", and he's one of the best defensive players, honestly, in league history already, and he's 22 years old. Cat did not seem worried about that. He was driving the ball at his chest. He was going at him. I was mesmerized. Now, Nathan, I said this a couple days ago. You weren't here. The worst basketball thing you can do is be tall and not play like it. Because we all think this. Man, you're 7 foot. How do you not get every rebound? Man, you're 7 foot. How do you not dominate? The worst thing you can be is super tall and super athletic and not show it on the court. And you remember people had this criticism about Karl Anthony Towns a couple of years ago, and he has really developed and come into his own. And I thought he played as well as I've seen him play on both ends of the floor. So there was a sequence there. It was in that third quarter. Brunson hadn't really started to heat up yet, where Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby are the biggest reasons why that game got close and competitive. Karl got 2 back-to-back rebounds, 2 putbacks. He got an and 1. He was playing with fire. He was playing great defense against Wemby. He had an incredible energy and a spark. This game was close late, and Jalen Brunson was just making almost every single play for the New York Knicks. Every time down the floor, he either would score or would make the pass that would get you wide open, and then you would score. It was an offensive rebound. Brunson is my height. He's 6'2", 6'3". He then tips the ball out because he can't get the rebound. The Knicks retain possession. He then finds the open space on the floor, settles in, hits the corner three. A massive momentum shift in the game. Nathan, there was also a play in there. It was late in the game. There was like 4 minutes to go in the game. The two teams are just trading punches. De'Aaron Fox gets as point blank in the middle of the lane that you could quite possibly be. He turns around and shoots what's probably a 7-footer, largely uncontested. This is a shot that as an NBA player, you got to make 98% of the time. NBA players do not miss that shot. That close, you have to convert this. He then misses it. The Knicks then hit a 3 on the other side, which should have been a tie ball game. Now they're down 5. There were just those key plays. Like I always say in football, there's 6 to 8 plays that determine who wins a football game, and whoever makes more of those plays will usually win. That same thing kind of happened yesterday in a basketball game in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks, whether it was Karl Anthony Towns, whether it was Jalen Brunson or OG Anunoby, they just made more of those plays in the fourth quarter. You outscored the Spurs by 10 in the fourth quarter. That's how you steal game 1.
Yeah, and I don't think the Knicks played up to the way we've seen them play in the first 3 quarters of that game. I think they were fine, but I mean, Brunson after the game was like locked in and was like, we didn't play well. We got to get back in the lab and see what happened. They made the plays down the stretch. And look, I mean, Wemby shot, I think it was 2 for 12 when he was guarded by Cat. I mean, I think after last night, the Knicks were taking this series. I'd probably take him in 6. But if Wemby is going to be the Hunter Dickinson is the tall guy who plays small that I would throw out there. If Wemby's going to be that guy instead of Cat, this could be Knicks in 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think the Knicks are going to win the series. After watching the first game of this, I've switched my pick. I thought the Spurs were going to win. I'm switching it for a big reason. If that's the version of Karl Anthony Towns that the Knicks are going to get, they're going to win this series. I also think very different in a way than the Thunder. They got 2 guys that can make life kind of difficult for Wemby yet. And I think you saw there were times where Wemby's game maybe isn't offensively as refined as it will be in a couple of years, that there was a stretch there in that fourth quarter. The Knicks really sped him up, and he was playing out of control. He shot a 3 that hit the side of the backboard at one point. Like, Wemby was moving real fast in the fourth quarter, and I think a large part of that is you got Mitchell Robinson, who isn't worried about scoring. I'm just going to lean on you the entire time. You got Karl Anthony Towns that I thought defended him really well. And funny enough, every team needs somebody like Josh Hart. Josh Hart just does all of the dirty work. He only scored 5 points. He had 15 rebounds in the game at 6'4". He can guard everybody. I've come over to the other side now. I want to see the Knicks win this. This is their one chance to do it. Let's see the Knicks win the championship. After watching game 1, I do think the Knicks are going to win this series. I think they're They are better equipped to win this series than I think the Spurs are. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk about L'Jarius Sneed. He's back visiting in Kansas City. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
Who do you think will be wearing the ring at the end of the NBA Finals? You can take your shot with FanDuel, and you just might be celebrating a victory of your very own. Right now, new customers can hit the court with $350 in bonus bets guaranteed after betting $5 for 7 straight days. FanDuel is the best place to bet all your favorite players during the NBA's biggest event. You can seek out those individual player markets for baskets or who's going to have the most rebounds, or build an epic same-game parlay for a chance at a bigger payout. And with FanDuel, you get paid instantly when you win. Just visit FanDuel.com/local to join now to get $350 in bonus bets guaranteed after betting $5 for 7 days. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA and 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 minimum wager required for 7 consecutive days. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character to nominate today.
The world is coming to Kansas City. Is your parking lot ready? Over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, they want to make sure that your business is inviting, that it's safe, and that, of course, your project is cost-effective, because they want to make sure that you're ready and that your business is ready before the world comes here. That's all possible over at Gann, who can handle any type of project your parking lot would need. That's because they're one contractor, all things parking lot. Check out their projects at GannAsphalt.com or give them a call at 816-688-3512.
Whoa, okay. This one says you get a free phone if you switch. Hey, this one also says you get a free phone if you switch.
Yeah, they all do, hon.
Huh. The T-Mobile one says their customers had the lowest wireless bills versus the other big guys over the past 5 years. And their latest experience plans have Netflix included, plus a year of Dash Pass by DoorDash.
Hang on, let me see that. Oh, yeah, we're switching.
That's what I'm talking about. Do we clap now, or...?
At T-Mobile, get savings that keep stacking up. That's value you can feel every day. And right now, bring your phone to T-Mobile and we'll give you $400 when you switch.
Savings based on Harris X billing snapshots from Q3 2021 to Q4 2025 compared to average AT&T and Verizon bills. Comparison excludes discounts, credits, and optional charges. $400 with new account on qualifying line. Unlock device credit ported 90-plus days with device and carrier. Entirely redemption required. Virtual MasterCard typically takes 14 weeks. No cash access and expires in 6 months. Card issued by Sunrise Banks N.A. Member FDIC. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, new problem near Shawnee, 35 southbound, well, just past the split there, 635. That's a stall off to the left shoulder and very heavy both directions through there. Continue down and the crash is still working, 35 northbound just before 435. Left lane blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Jack Caglione from the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
I just got a tweet, Nathan, and it said, earlier today you said that the Chiefs have no bad contracts on their team. What do you think about Jalen Moore? I don't think paying your starting right tackle $14 million is a bad contract. Has he earned the money? No, not yet. But I don't think paying your starting right tackle money is a bad deal. He signed a 2-year, $30 million contract. He got an $8 million signing bonus, really 7.4. I rounded up for him. He got a $7.4 million signing bonus and got $21 million guaranteed. I would not consider that to be a bad contract.
I don't think it was a bad contract when he was just your backup swing tackle either. I think we're right back to
I think it's a little bit different if he is a non-starter versus a star. Like that's a lot of money to me to pay for a break in case of emergency type. Now, they needed the emergency. Something happened with Josh Simmons. He wasn't there. You needed him to step in, and you needed somebody to fill that position. So I certainly get it. But now that he starts for the team, that's not a bad contract to me to pay your right tackle.
Yeah, I remember your take being that last offseason, and you and I just disagreed on that. I thought it was an okay investment given the rotating door at left tackle the Chiefs had before then. I thought there was a high likelihood they would need Jalen Moore. But I just think this is back to the conversation that we tried to explain the difference between earlier. The question is not, are there any players on the Chiefs that you think are underperforming? Or are there any players in the Chiefs that you think could be better or could do more to earn their contract? The question is, are there any contracts that prohibit them from making a move? Because the Green Bay Packers, they've got over $100 million annually in Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Jordan Love, right? They are now handcuffed at the wide receiver position, at skill position in total up there in Green Bay. And I don't see any contracts like that on the Chiefs except for maybe, Chris Jones, which is probably the last year of.
Yeah, someone sent this in. This is all barring that he starts. Isn't he in a big competition if he's wrong? If Issa Pole starts at right tackle for the Chiefs, something went terribly wrong with Jalen Moore. And I don't have a problem with Issa Pole. I don't. I think he is a good find. We're talking about a player who last year got cut from 2 different teams. The Chiefs cut him. He then went to the Jets and got cut. Now, he did come back, and he got an opportunity to play. Now, we might debate on how well he played. He certainly exceeded expectation, but the bar was on the ground. He played a whole lot in those preseason games that I just don't really put a whole lot of stock into how anybody played in those 3 games. Tennessee, Denver, and Las Vegas, those were scrimmages to me, games in which I think the Chiefs were trying to lose. So, now, I'm with you. If Jalen Moore doesn't start this year, that is absolutely a bad contract if he doesn't start. But I would be stunned if Issa Pole beat him out on the job. I also just don't think he'll be given the opportunity to beat him out on the job. I think we know who their starting offensive line is.
Look, no disrespect to Issa Pole. I thought he stepped up really well in that game that Wanye went down at left tackle, and he was immediately thrown into the game. I think Issa Pole is a good swing tackle backup option, like Jalen Moore started last year for this team. If Jalen Moore was in a camp competition, if the Chiefs were not sure he was the starting right tackle, they would have gotten him off the books before free agency this season, and they probably would have brought back Juwan Taylor, a guy who signed for 1 year and $5 million down in Atlanta. They would have done something at this position, either in free agency or in the draft, that they're not just rocking with Juwan Taylor at Moore at $14 million, and he's competing with Issa Pole. That's not happening. He's the right tackle.
I am a bit surprised that the contract that's come up the most has been Trey Smith. Now, Nathan, you were here enough last summer. A lot of people are now making the positional value argument, which I wish Rob was here. Now I feel like I'm twisted and turning. That's the same argument I was making last year. The same argument. This is where I don't feel like Chiefs fans are being fair, and I feel like we're now playing whack-a-mole with some of the narratives and some of the conversations. Because last year when the Chiefs gave Trey Smith that deal, the overwhelming sentiment is you got to protect Pat. You got to protect Pat. You got to protect Pat. How can you spare? You got to spare no expense to protect Patrick Mahomes. Of course, you got to give that. I was like, hold on. I don't know if that's a good use of money. I wouldn't do this deal. Oh, quit being negative. You're being a negative Nancy. Oh, okay, all right. That's not what I would do. Now I'm seeing a whole lot of people of, we gave a lot of money to an interior offensive lineman. I know that. I agree with you. I said this from the very, very beginning. I've never wavered. I would have never given Trey Smith that deal. I wouldn't have given Nick Bolton the contract. Bolton's contract's a little bit different, but the Trey Smith deal, there is no world in which I'm the general manager, which I would assign Trey Smith to that deal.
I'm with you on Trey Smith, and it's funny that we had the protect Pat narrative, and now you ask, hey, are there any bad contracts on the Chiefs? And everyone's talking about multiple O-linemen, Jalen Moore and Trey Smith, even though that's what fans have been clamoring for 5 years. Look, I think it's important to invest in the offensive line no matter who your quarterback is. I think that's the second most important position collectively in the sport because of how good edge rushers can change the games. I would not have paid Trey Smith. And the protect Pat thing has always been funny to me because doesn't Patrick Mahomes create a lot of contact anyway? Isn't he going to push things to the limit and scamper down the sideline and try to buy a few extra seconds and roll around and get hit anyway? Like, I don't care if he was playing behind the 2000s Chiefs O-line. He's still going to create contact. That's the way Patrick Mahomes plays. So I always thought that was a little bit overblown by Chiefs fans in the Trey Smith conversations as well.
We'll get back to the Chiefs here coming up in a bit. Earlier today, we were joined by Jacob Rudner. He covers college baseball for Baseball America. You guys know that Kansas is in the Super Regional. We asked him a simple question. What does KU need to do to advance? What does OU need to do to advance? Here's what he said.
Yeah, right before I jumped on with you, I heard you talking about the NBA Finals, so I'll make a basketball reference here. High variance teams in basketball, the teams that are going to go shoot a whole bunch of three-pointers, are volatile teams. If that's not going to sink, then their high variance way of playing the game is going to end up being the thing that causes them to trail by a bunch. I think that Kansas baseball has a lot of those qualities as well, and their three-pointer in a way is the home run. Kansas has relied very heavily this season on its ability to put the ball over the wall and kind of create these moments in games where they swing violently in one direction or the other. If they get shut down this weekend, if they strike out a bunch this weekend, which is something that Oklahoma is really good at, so I guess this key kind of cuts both ways, then I think that Kansas could be in trouble. The pitching has been volatile. They aren't necessarily constantly the best base-to-base team, the team that's going to win a game based on, stringing a bunch of hits together. They're the kind of team that wants to put the ball over the wall. And if Oklahoma can prevent that in turn, then I think that it could be a really good weekend for the Sooners. So the thing that I would watch if I was tuning into the Lawrence Regional would be, is Oklahoma throwing a bunch of strikes and missing bats? Or is Oklahoma throwing a bunch of strikes or walking guys and the strikes are getting hit out of the yard? Because that will be the key to who wins this, in my opinion.
Last thing here I want to play for you guys. We asked Jacob Rudner about the momentum that Kansas is playing with, and does anybody want to see him?
Yeah, and if you recall last week, one of the things that we talked about was Kansas' growth in the baseball community sense and how much the support has increased for the program over the last several years under Dan Fitzgerald. I think that's been a really key element for them. This is a community that has really rallied behind its baseball program. And, just in talking to Dan Fitzgerald, it's very clear the players feel that. I think that they feed off of the energy. I also think that they look to replicate it in some ways. It's a tight-knit baseball fandom in Lawrence, and I think that the team tries to reflect that with how it carries itself. They really support each other. They are one of the rowdier teams in the country, which I think gets on other fan bases and teams' nerves. But that's kind of the team that you want to be. You want to be the team that nobody wants to play. And Tennessee was that under Tony Vitello when they won a national championship less than a decade after they were one of the worst teams in the SEC. So I think that momentum is a byproduct of cohesion, as you're talking about, and Kansas has a lot of them. It's one of the reasons I believe in this team.
That is Jacob Rudner with Baseball America. If you missed our interview with him, be sure to check out the podcast page. Kansas is getting ready for the Super Regional. They will host Oklahoma. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 o'clock if you want to see the Jayhawks take on the Sooners. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get to the top stories. The Knicks are up 1-0 in the NBA Finals. Christian Watson is the 12th highest paid wide receiver in the National Football League. And L'Jarius Sneed could be coming back to Kansas City. We'll get to it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Here Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, new problem near Shawnee, 35 southbound, well, just past the split there, 635. That's a stall off to the left shoulder and very heavy both directions through there. Continue down and the crash is still working, 35 northbound just before 435. Left lane blocked there on Valley traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
This is Blake Fanning with Shawnee Mission Ford. We promise to continue giving you reason to shop at Shawnee Mission Ford in 2026. Great selection of new and used vehicles, large discount, top trade allowance, and mobile service when you need it. There's no reason to go anywhere else. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more in 26.
Within the cities we call home, Busey Bank is more than a name. It's a commitment to your dreams. With Busey, trusted guidance is tailored to empower you every step of the way. Whether it's seamlessly managing your finances or planning for your future, Busey is dedicated to your financial success. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Amanda, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As Director of Bridal Design, I travel the world for inspiration so that your engagement ring stands out from the rest. My team of in-house designers and I work alongside skilled artisans to curate the most beautiful collection of exclusive engagement rings. At Shane Company, you'll find the ring that's a reflection of your unique style. No cookie-cutter designs here. See our selection in-store or at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to get exactly what you want. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Lemonade! Fresh squeezed lemonade! Lemonade?
Oh, nuts.
Is your business struggling to be seen? Not reaching the right customers?
Yeah.
Odyssey's here to help. Your one-stop shop for digital marketing.
Wait, really?
With targeted digital media, plus SEO, SEM, social, OTT, and more, we help your business reach the right audience and drive results.
Whoa, hey, one at a time.
Stop missing out on valuable customers. Visit digitallocalads.com to learn more about our local advertising solutions. That's digitallocalads.com.
Okay, people, line starts here.
The Kansas City Auto Show is back, and we're taking over the Overland Park Convention Center with more brands, more test drives, free parking, and all new features. Happening now through Sunday at our exciting new location at the Overland Park Convention Center. Get up close to the latest cars, trucks, and SUVs. It's fun for the whole family. Don't miss your chance to see your future of driving all in one place. Get your tickets now at kcautoshow.com. The Kansas City Auto Show happening now through Sunday at Overland Park Convention Center.
Brought to you by Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit ClimateControlKC.com. Climate Control has been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle the scorching hot summer. Schedule your AC system tune-up for just $49. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Cody and Gold Garage Sale benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is on Wednesday, June 10th on your home for Kansas City Sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
It's been a while since I could tell you guys congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5, but congratulations. We are off a little bit early today because of the Kansas City Royals. I got another baseball game to lose, but you know what? We have you here until about 5:25, so let's get right into it. We don't have a lot of time to waste. I am here today. Rob is off today. I don't know if Rob is in line trying to get Kansas baseball tickets for tomorrow. I honestly don't know where Rob is, but we look forward to Rob being back here on Monday. So let's talk about, I think, the three biggest stories right now, whether it's locally or nationally in sports. Let's start with the local story. Let's talk about L'Jarius Sneed. So if you missed it, L'Jarius Sneed got released from the Tennessee Titans. It went about as poorly in Tennessee as it could. He only played in 12 games for the Tennessee Titans. His knees were done with Tennessee. They said, sayonara, no thank you. He had some off-the-field issues. I don't know if it was him or a family member. I don't know all the details of it. I don't know all the particulars. All I do know is he was cleared, no charges. He is not going to face NFL suspension. He is now moving forward with his life and his career. He is back in Kansas City today talking to the Chiefs about possibly coming back to Kansas City. Now, this is the interesting part about this. I think there's two possible ways to look at this. I think the first way is I think there's a chance that Christian Fulton isn't making this team. I think if you look at last season, now I know somebody's going to make the argument that he was hurt last year, that he was banged up last year, and now they're counting on him. And I'm not telling you that you're wrong if you have that opinion. But I think I've been very consistent in my stance for the last 5-6 months or so. Those 3 games that the Chiefs had at the end of the season do not count to me. They were completely eliminated. I think the Chiefs were purposely trying to lose to get the best draft pick possible. So what you did in those games, how often you played in those games, does not really hold a lot of weight to me. Christian Fulton played in 208 snaps last year. He played in 46 snaps in that Tennessee game where the Chiefs lost and scored 9 points to the team that had the 4th overall pick. I thought, competed very well in that Broncos game. Christmas night, he played in 71 snaps. 71 snaps. So doing the math here, 117 snaps came from the Tennessee game and the Denver game. Now add 62 onto the board because he played in that many snaps in the Raiders game. And that was a tankathon. That was 2 teams that were doing everything they could to ensure they got the best draft pick possible. And then if you remember, the Raiders found out that it didn't matter if they won or lost. They had wrapped up the number 1 overall pick. And then they were like, well, I guess we might as well go ahead and win. And the Chiefs were very happy to move out of the way and lock in the 9th overall pick. So I just don't put a whole lot of stock in what you did in those 3 games and how much you played in those 3 games. The only reason I'm bringing this up is Christian Fulton could not get on the field at any other point in the season until it was completely over. He played in 15 snaps in week 1. He played in 2 snaps in week 2, 9 snaps in week 3, 1 against Indianapolis, and 2 snaps against the Los Angeles Chargers. He could not get on the field until they started playing those preseason joint scrimmages, practices at the end of the season. So I'm not entirely sure how in love the Chiefs are with Christian Fulton. Maybe the Chiefs are now interested in an upgrade. They want to have a veteran presence, and there is only room for one veteran presence in that room. That they like the youth movement that they have. They clearly like Noel Williams. They like Mansour Delane. They like Kader Kohu. They just signed him in free agency. I know he's not a young guy in that same vein, but he's 24 years old. They like the Kennedy kid that they just got out of Oregon. They like Christian Roland Wallace. He's been a part of the mix for the last couple of years. Maybe the Chiefs feel really comfortable with those guys, but they do want one elder statesman in the room. They do want a guy who's been through some NFL fire, so to speak. Sneed has certainly done that, played for a Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl, a guy who we thought was an all-pro at one time. He, at one point, was one of the better corners in the National Football League. So maybe thought process number 1 is the Chiefs are moving on from Christian Fulton. They will sign L'Jarius Sneed. They will save $5 million if they cut Fulton, and they will go in a different direction. Or this is a depth move, which it could very realistically be a depth move. But I would just argue roster math at that point. Like, I'm much more on side A than I'm on side B for this argument. I'm much more with 1 than 2. Because if you're going off the guys that we feel pretty confident are going to make the team, Noel Williams, Kader Kohu, Mansour Delane, and Kennedy. Those are 4 corners you think are making the team. If Sneed is added to the roster, they are not cutting L'Jarius Sneed. If they clear him medically, which that's why I assume he's here, let's go through the physicals. Let's see if your body is 100%. If he passes the physicals, he's making the team. We've played this game before. This is you bringing back Mike Pennell. This is you bringing back Derek Nottie. This is you bringing back McCole Hardman. This is just a different position. But those guys, you knew when the Chiefs added them to the roster that they were not releasing those players. We brought you in for a very specific reason. So if Sneed is coming back, you have to add him to the guys that's making the team. We're at 5 corners right there on the roster. That's before you make a decision about Christian Roland Wallace. That's before you make a decision about Kaiir Elam, who's the former first-round pick. I'm just not 100% sure that Christian Fulton is making the roster. I could be wrong on that, and maybe this is the depth move. Maybe they're looking at it as a true camp battle, and may the best man win. That's a possibility. Or the Chiefs like Sneed more than they like Christian Fulton. They're happy to bring Fulton into the mix, and they're going to let Christian Fulton go. They're going to save the $5 million, and Nathan, they'll put that $5 million elsewhere on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it one step further. What's the benefit to having Fulton on this roster based on what we know about him if Sneed and Kohu are healthy? Like, because I'm with you, the evaluation on L'Jarius Sneed is the medicals. There's no reason to bring him in to add him to the depth if he's healthy. I mean, you just mentioned the names, the Kohus, the Roland Wallaces, the Elams, which shout out Buffalo for allowing the Chiefs to get Trent McDuffie instead of Kaiir Elam in that draft. There's no point to bring Sneed in to add a 4th guy competing for the last cornerback spot. I believe if the medicals check out, the Chiefs will sign him, and I do believe that spells the end of Christian Fulton. If you think Sneed and Kennedy and Kohu are the guys that are your depth on the 53-man roster, why carry a guy with a higher cap hit than Christian Fulton? Why not give that to a Tyreek Hill, a Keenan Allen, or a Cam Jordan at positions of need? I think if he is signed, I would predict it spells the end of Christian Fulton in Kansas City.
Yeah, also here, someone sent in, adding Sneed adds nothing to the team except depth. Why are we talking about this? I'm not entirely sure if that's the case with L'Jarius Sneed. Now, I don't know where he is physically. I have absolutely no clue where he is physically. I mean, the last 2 years, he has not been good physically. He only played in 12 games. I mean, that's fewer games than he played his last year in Kansas City. He played in every game that year. So physically, he has not been there. So if he passes the physical, to me, that is the Chiefs telling you they think he's healthy enough to be able to contribute. And if there is a defense that you know he fits in, and I would say he then fits a role for them, he can help them in the pass rush, not in a traditional sense, but we know he is one of their better off-the-edge blitzers that they will have on their team if they end up getting him. So I actually see Sneed as having a role on this team. Now, is he the same player that he was in 2023? Obviously not, but I don't know if Christian Fulton's better than him in 2026. I don't know what evidence I have of that. I don't know what evidence I have that he can't be a legitimate number 3 on this roster. I'm going into the season with this expectation. Mansour Delane's going to be your 1. Noel Williams is going to be your 2 on the outside. I think the Cater Kohu is going to be their inside, their nickel corner. That's their 3. Outside of that, I think it's kind of up for grabs if everybody is healthy in that context. So if Sneed can be a guy that rotates in on the nickel, if he can be a guy that's a break in case of emergency if an injury happens, because Cater Kohu is also a guy that has dealt with some injuries in the past, I also just don't think he's going to cost a whole lot of money. To keep using Kohu as the example, he signed a 1-year, $1.8 million deal in Kansas City. So we're talking about no money if you end up signing L'Jarius Sneed. I just don't really see a whole lot of negatives in signing L'Jarius Sneed if you are Kansas City. It is only positives if we are talking about the amount of money that ultimately I think it would be.
Yeah, and the worst case scenario is the Chiefs are looking at Sneed and Kohu and saying they both have knee injuries. Hopefully one of them makes it through camp and has a productive season. Man, on the higher end, it is if you don't think he's going to contribute, that being Christian Fulton, why is he around? I think it's unfair that we've looked at guys like Jalen Royals or Brashard Smith on the offensive side of the ball and have said, well, what does it mean that they didn't get on the field until those scrimmages, those extra preseason games at the end of the season? But at least they're rookies, and that's the same path that Christian Fulton took. So injuries aside or not knowing the scheme aside, I don't see a reason why Christian Fulton is on this team if he's competing to be cornerback 5. Yeah, I just don't.
I also just think, and some of this I think is a little bit unfair to guys who are still available at this point. I mean, if you're still sitting there in free agency on June 4th, there is a reason why you're there. Either you are a guy like Stephon Diggs and people think you are crazy, whether you're a guy like Tyreek Hill and you also might be crazy, but you're also coming off a significant injury. I mean, at this point, this is like walking a used car lot. And I'm not talking about one of the really nice ones. I'm talking about one of the cash cars. So if a car is there and it's available for $2,500, it's going to have some problems. You just got to determine if that's a problem you can live with and how much mileage you can get out of that vehicle. So, yeah, I'm not here telling you that I think Sneed is some 2026 Tesla, brand new, drive it off the lot. That's obviously not the case. You know exactly what he is. He's a 2004 with a bunch of miles on it. But that's not to say that those things can't help you, because they've made moves like that and they've worked. They've made moves like that and it not worked. I mean, they picked up Kareem Hunt, who was sitting there in August, and he ended up being one of the best short yardage backs in the National Football League. So I am not completely dismissive of the idea that Sneed could potentially help them, especially in this defense and in this scheme. He is a guy that should be able to hit the ground running from day one. It is the same defensive coordinator. It's the same D-back coach when he was here. There ain't really much to learn. It is much to refresh, but you don't really got to start completely over. If there is a team in the league in which Sneed could jump back in and have some level of success in the NFL, it would be in Kansas City. It would be in this defense. I'm for them going to sign him.
Yeah, I think I'm for it as well. But to your point about the knowing the system, we know the Chiefs love their ex-players. It's well documented. Almost every single player flirts with the Chiefs after they leave the Chiefs. I do understand that. Man, it feels like L'Jarius Sneed is an extra, he knows the system guy. Derek Nottie, that was a warm body. Kareem Hunt was a guy who was available, it's been here before. It was less of, hey, we know them and we love them. The one this feels like to me is McCole Hardman. When the Chiefs were having those problems a few years ago at wide receiver, Pat just needed his guy. that could come in and catch a pass. And this is what I feel like Spags is doing in the secondary. There's a lot of new bodies around here, but I got a guy out here that I know and that I like. What's the downside to bringing him in? I don't really see a whole lot of downsides to bringing in Sneed.
Text line 913-586-7965. So let's talk about, I think there's two other main stories right now in sports. One, I think you can relate to the Chiefs. The other is game one of the NBA Finals. Nathan, if you will, can you hit the hits? And let's talk about Christian Watson getting absolutely paid.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number one.
I do not understand this Christian Watson deal. It does not make a lot of sense to me. I cannot wrap my mind around it. I don't know why you would do this. Christian Watson was drafted by the Green Bay Packers, second-round pick, and I would say that he has had a pretty inconsistent start to his career. Now, when he's been on the field, he has been a productive player. He has shown himself to be a big play, take the top off the defense. He has shown himself to be a good player when he's healthy. The problem is he is very, very rarely healthy. Now, I'm just going off. We can continue with the car analogies. You know we love a good car analogy on this show. The Carfax report is looking real shaky. You think when you buy that car, you're now not going to have any problems with it? That just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why you would think that. I don't even know what that opinion could be based on, how you could have that opinion. He was hurt at 22, 23, 24, and 25, and 26. Now at 27, he's magically healed and he's going to ball out for you on a $110 million deal. Makes no sense to me. He got 4 years, $110 million today. That as I was thinking more about this deal and going back and forth with people on Twitter about it, and we've talked a lot about Rashee Rice, it kind of put this into perspective. And maybe we all have been a little bit too hard on Rashee Rice. Because it looks to me like these teams, they're giving out big-time, massive deals for some of the most average players in the National Football League. How in the hell did Alec Pierce get $114 million with $84 million guaranteed? Can anybody explain to me how that happened? Alec Pierce, at least Alec Pierce has had a 1,000-yard season. I mean, Christian Watson hasn't even done that. Christian Watson hasn't had a season with 50 catches. He's never had a season with 700 yards receiving. He just got $110 million. Alec Pierce has one good season in the league. He's got $80 million guaranteed. Drake London has one 1,000-yard season. He just got $100 million guaranteed. Maybe we've been a little bit too hard on Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is not signing a contract next year for $5 million. Not if he plays how I think he will play. Not if he has 60-something catches for 1,000 yards next year, 70 catches for 1,000 yards, and 8 to 9 touchdowns. Somebody will give him a contract. Somebody will give him a deal because they're giving money out to some of the most mid-wide receivers in the league. Alec Pierce isn't a top 30 receiver in the National Football League. Neither is Christian Watson. I would say neither is Drake London. Drake London might be. He's a little bit better than him. I don't want to put him in the same category as those other two guys. London's good. But giving these guys that amount of money it's mind-blowing to me.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And more so than any position on the field, it's just exploded in the last few years. This Christian Kirk contract a few years ago with the Jaguars was the first, no pun intended, the first Jag to get paid like a superstar. And the market just has not slowed down since then. So look, if you have a top 5 guy, a Chase, a JSN, a Puka, obviously they're worth paying. I would argue those guys that are in the second tier, like a Nico Collins and Amon-Ra St. Brown, sure. But just to get a guy who you know is good to above average, it's not worth it at this position anymore. You got to be able to draft and develop. $30 million a year for Christian Watson, for Alec Pierce, it's out of control. It's too much.
The worst thing that you can do for your team is to give good players great contracts. It is the worst team building exercise that you can go through. You do not win that way. Now, yes, you're going to miss sometimes in free agency. You're going to miss in the draft. You're going to miss on contracts. But if I'm going to miss on a contract, it's going to be because I gave Chris Jones too much money. He's a future Hall of Famer. I'm going to miss because I give a great player a deal and something happens. I'm not missing because I gave Christian Watson $100 million. I'm not missing because I hitched my wagon to Alec Pierce. I can't believe it. Someone said, C-Dot, if Xavier Worthy has 900 yards this year, what do you think the Chiefs will pay him? I mean, if that ends up happening, Xavier Worthy's worth like $72 million by NFL standards. He's definitely got a 4 for 72 coming. It won't be in Kansas City, but some team will give Xavier Worthy $72 million. I couldn't imagine giving that much money to Xavier Worthy. That's a terrible deal.
I'll tell you what they're doing. If he has 900 yards, slamming the yes button on that fifth-year option for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%. They'll definitely do that.
No, I mean, 900 yards, the guy would have 300 more yards than Christian Watson's career high. 4 for 72, try 4 for 120. The league would be salivating over that stat line. My goodness.
I know you guys don't really want NBA breakdown, so that's perfectly fine. I just want to make one quick NBA point. I really enjoy going to sporting events. I know that you guys think that I don't like going to football games. It's not that I don't like going to NFL games. It's just that NFL games usually happen when there's other NFL games going on or about to come on. So I just don't want to spend my whole day where all I can watch is just the one game. No, I like following the whole league. I like watching all the games and knowing what's going on. That's my biggest reason of why I don't like going to the games, but I love going to sporting events. You know what I would never do? I would never do anything that would jeopardize my chance of being able to go to Arrowhead or Kaufman or wherever, because I enjoy the live experience. This kid yesterday during the NBA Finals, I'm sure you saw it, this kid ran on the court. He ran on the court to try to get a selfie with Wemby instead of pulling up at some autograph signing where you could just take a picture with him. Instead of waiting outside the venue as a kid to get a picture with him or get him to sign something, you ran on the court during the game to get a picture with Victor Wembanyama. And then he ultimately posted the picture. Wemby's head isn't even in the picture because he's 7'4". It just looks goofy. And now they have banned this man from every NBA arena. Now, I don't know if this just means concerts or I don't know if this means just the game. I don't know. But they said they banned him from every NBA arena. You're telling me you can't go to another NBA game. You also can't pull up at the concert? Come on now. And it was worth that for a TikTok that's going to be forgotten in 24 hours. It was worth that for a picture that's not even a good picture. It's not like it's some iconic selfie or iconic moment. You're an idiot.
And if you have the funds to pay what it takes to sit that close in the NBA Finals, I'm going to assume you love NBA basketball. I mean, except for maybe those two young ladies that sit behind the Spurs bench every home playoff game. Maybe they do like basketball. I don't know. I'm assuming this young man really enjoys basketball. And now think about all the opportunities. Like, you got the money. Why don't you fly to New York and see the Knicks' first home NBA Finals game in 30 years? Like, think about all the things you could do with that type of money and that type of love for basketball, and you traded it for a picture with Wemby's crotch. It makes no sense.
It's just, I'm stunned. I really am. I'm stunned. I'm floored. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't understand it. I really enjoyed game one. I haven't seen the ratings. I'm curious to see if America is really buying into this series. It has a little bit of everything, man. Jalen Brunson is amazing. What he did in that fourth quarter was breathtaking yesterday. It was a little bit of everything. It was getting to the basket. It was knocking down threes. It was getting his team involved. He had a big rebound. I mean, Jalen Brunson, he is a winning player. A winning player. All right, we are off today. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are back tomorrow. Go Royals. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like Customizing car insurance just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks while protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay